MC22 has made the trip to Cedar Falls tonight at the Unidome, home of the UNI Panthers, where tonight it's Cedar Rapids Prairie visiting the Cedar Falls Tigers. Cedar Falls undefeated on the season. Both these teams already in the 4A playoff field, but one of them wins a district title tonight inside the warm confines of the Unidome on a cool October night outside. High school football coming up on MC22.
To Logan Wolf, captain, 7-play 75. To A.J. Green, Marcus Orr doing nice against Cale O'Neill on the kick. Very next possession.
High school football on the air from inside the Unidome in Cedar Falls, Iowa, a building that went up in the 1970s and plays perfect host to not only a game tonight, but of course the semifinals and the championship games in all the classes here in just a few weeks. Good evening and welcome inside. I'm Bob James along with Jerry Koala. Tonight should be a good one in Class 4A. First of all, Cedar Falls undefeated. Prairie has been on a streak too. They've lost just twice and have won 4 in a row.
Well, the incentive is the winner is going to be the district champion in this Class 4A district, and then they're going to have a high seed going into the playoffs, which begin next week. So both of these teams really have a lot to play for tonight, and it's a game that in the last couple of years has come right down to the district championship. So I see tonight being no different than any other game they've played.
Plenty of stars on each of these teams, but we focus first of all for Cedar Rapids Prairie on Tariq Amir, just 3 yards shy of 1,000 on the season rushing.
Well, Tariq Amir, he's been a supplement running back last year to Keegan Simmons, this year to Nick Pearson, but he's really developed his own type of game coming from that wing back position. He's got some good speed, he's got good power, he can get the ball in the end zone, as you see, against shy of 1,000 yards by 3.
And for Cedar Falls, they've got quite a quarterback, Cale Loescher. Last year, he threw for 29 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. That's actually the last 2 years combined. You see his numbers here in 2019.
Well, talented, of course. He throws touchdown passes. He was all-state quarterback a year ago. But more importantly, he's a leader on that football field. He's the general manager on that football field that head coach Brad Remmert needs to lead this Cedar Falls offense.
We'll be back to kick it off in just a moment on MC22.
High school football on Mediacom MC22 is brought to you by McGrath Family of Dealerships, 5 Seasons Tire, the Tom Riley Law Firm, Klinger Paint and Interiors, Heartland Hearing Center, and by Extreme, powered by Mediacom.
Inside the Unidome, it's going to be a good night for high school football. Well, it's always a good night for high school football, especially when you're indoors. Good evening. This is Bob James along with Jerry Koala, and it doesn't get much better than the winner takes the district crown, and that's what we have tonight here inside the Unidome.
Well, question about it, it's playoff atmosphere right now as these teams are warming up for their first playoff game, which will come next week. It's just where they will be playing depending on the seed they get following tonight's game.
Well, we've already got the Cedar Falls squad out on the field, and here come the Hawks from Cedar Rapids Prairie, who've made the trip up Interstate 380. And let's take a look at our keys to the game. Let's start with the visiting Hawks from Prairie.
Well, they know we got a pounding running attack, and they can go straight forward, and they do a lot of misdirection and angle running. So they need to have a deceptive ground attack tonight, and then they've got to get on Loescher frequently. They got to contact him a lot on every snap when Cedar Falls has the football.
And for Cedar Falls playing at home, trying to keep their record unblemished, they're going for their 9th straight win tonight.
Interesting that they need to have a good, balanced ball control game. I think the way for them to beat Cedar Rapids Prairie is to keep the ball out of Prairie's hands. So they need that balanced ball control, and then they've got to slow down that Prairie ground game. They certainly, and it's going to take a 4-quarter game, but they certainly don't want that ground game to break any big plays for long touchdown runs.
We had a very good game, by the way, in the junior varsity. Cedar Falls knocking off Prairie by 3. Prairie marching down the field at the end of that one, but really just ran out of time. And if we have half the game we had here in the varsity game this evening. It will be a good one, no question about that. And there you see Mark Bliss in his 5th season at Cedar Rapids Prairie, and he has been successful wherever he has been, certainly on the south side of Cedar Rapids.
5th season, 34-15 coming in. He started his first year as an under 500 record, and since then he's been above 500.
And there you see the head coach for Cedar Falls, Mr. Remmert.
Brad Remmert in his 6th season of 49-13. They got 2nd place a year ago in Class 4A, but he also coached 9 seasons as the co-head coach with Pat Mitchell, who spent 47 years roaming the sidelines at Cedar Falls. So he's got a ton of experience here at Cedar Falls and the kind of athletes that they get to work with.
Yes, he's in his 25th season, as a matter of fact. The only loss for Cedar Falls last year, a 22-16 defeat right here inside the Unidome in the 4A title game. Cedar Rapids Prairie will get the football first to start this contest, as Cedar Falls will kick from right to left in front of us. And kicking off will be Carter Griffin, the 5'11", 170-pound senior. Actually, back to receive is Tariq Amir, and kicking off is Bryce Albaugh. At the wrong roster there for a moment. And there is our opening kickoff, and it will go deep into the end zone and will be a touchback. So Prairie will start 1st and 10 at their own 25.
And that's an excellent advantage for Cedar Falls or any football team when you have a field goal place kicker, kickoff person who can kick it 10 yards deep into the end zone or out of the end zone to keep your opposition from returning one for a long distance or whatever. Now they've got an 80-yard field ahead of them, Prairie does. Yeah,
Prairie will start 1st and 10 at their own 20. They run that single wing offense. Don't throw the football a whole lot, but they have been very successful under Mark Bliss running this offense, which few schools in the entire state of Iowa run, and they will try and pound tonight against Cedar Falls. And running on the very first carry of the game, not surprisingly, Nick Pearson, who has 20 touchdowns on the season, but nowhere for Nick to run on that opening carry for Cedar Rapids Prairie. Last week, Waterloo West, the opponent for Cedar Rapids Prairie, and they just ran wild in that game. They had 4 backs combined for well over 500 yards rushing on the ground, 559 to be exact. Pearson had 172 of those. Tariq Amir, who we mentioned in the open, had 272 yards on the ground last week, and he gets the call here. Cuts back in the center of the field over the left hash, and he will get 1st down. They'll mark him just over the 30-yard line.
Well, Cedar Rapids Prairie is doing some funky stuff with their formations. You saw them there. They all bunched up behind the line of scrimmage before they got into their regular formation. It kind of causing Cedar Falls some confusion. And then they run this one here with Tariq Amir. Again, he's a good slasher. Nice blocking by that offensive line.
1st down and 10 yards to go at the 30-yard line. And we take a look at the starters for Cedar Rapids Prairie.
Offensive line is large. Colton Staub at 275, that right tackle. Got Jack Halverson, who's been a 2-year starter at center. This offense can get moving.
Just such a wonderful job running this single wing offense too, and all the trickery that goes along with it, with the spinner backs and everything. Pearson with 1,496 yards rushing coming into this game, and that 4-yard carry there will put him up to around 1,500 on the season. There's the defensive starters for the Tigers: Clements, Bonenkamp, Wykers, Weimer, Mickey, Barnett, couple of Barnetts actually, Bailey, Paxson, Albaugh, and Nathan G.
Caden Barnett is the leading tackler on this team. He plays that middle linebacker position, much like Jack Campbell did a year ago.
Amir gets the carry, tries to go around the left corner and does it. Wonderful seal block, and Amir may take it to the house. He's gone, and there are no flags. Prairie has taken the lead on a 65-yard touchdown run by Amir.
Got good blocking on the inside. Linebacker was sealed outside. We'll see the replay here, and Tariq probably was very surprised he had all that open football field to work with.
Boy, once he made it over to the edge, there was nobody to stop him. Actually, a 66-yard run after the 4-yard run by Pearson on 1st down. He gets right here, and then just, it's only a foot race at that point, and he was able to outrun Jay Seeger.
Runs on that 4x100-meter relay team for Cedar Rapids Prairie, and certainly he lets his speed fly there.
Extra point upcoming for Carter Griffin. Good snap, good hold, and the kick is right through the uprights as well. So Prairie comes out quickly, takes the lead over undefeated Cedar Falls, and Carter Griffin who is now 14 of 14 on the season in PATs, makes it a 7-0 lead after that 80-yard drive by Prairie to start the game, and they did it in just under 2 minutes.
Well, they pulled right guard, right tackle, and they had that the wingback there also leading the way for Cedar Rapids Prairie. That was a Clayton Scott, and they just pounded on the defensive line, defensive tackle, defensive end, and the linebacker got him sealed inside and let Tariq get to the outside. He has a choice, inside or outside, depending on where that defense is setting up to stop him. He was lucky to get to the outside, used his speed to get downfield.
Well, we saw him run it more to the inside on his first carry of the game, and yeah, as you said, he took it outside that time, and it was definitely the right choice. Lots of real estate over there, and he was able to show that speed up the far sideline, and the home crowd on the Cedar Falls side a little bit stunned.
Well, what a way to get it started, especially in the Unidome. I was talking to John Haggerty, who does some radio work in the local Cedar Rapids market, and he was saying this is a very difficult place for any opposing team to win, especially when you're playing Cedar Falls. He said, but it's just tough to win here when you're not used to it. Prairie has played here a couple of times. I doubt these kids have played here in their high school career yet, so maybe this will be only the first time this year.
And they low line drive kick, wonderful reception of that kick after it bounced up in the air a little bit away from number 15 Ryan Dunlop, but he was able to get back a hold of it, and as a result Cedar Falls gets great field position starting at their own 37-yard line. And we talked about Cedar Rapids Prairie and how they do it on the ground. Cedar Falls does it on the ground and through the air both, thanks to a great offensive line and a terrific quarterback. You see the starters on offense for Cedar Falls: Hoth, Sack, also White, Whelan, Knutson, Remmert, Wolf, Cernett, Borcherding, Ostrich, and of course the quarterback, Mr. Lochner. And Loescher is actually sacked on first down, number 22. That's Ashton Stoner de Groot getting through there. And Cale Loescher, who has 14 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and almost 1,300 yards passing on the season, not able to get off his first attempt. There's the defensive starters tonight for Prairie: Burkle, Bohr, Ramirez, Stoner de Groot, who got that sack, along with Scott, de Groot, Longwell, Schwartzendruber, Abdi, Fetters, and Mahoney. Second down and long for Prairie, or for Cedar Falls, 2nd and 16. Handoff and a big time stop. That is Jake de Groot, who had 6 fumble recoveries on the season, and a good stick by him, and also Moses Each in there to make the stop.
Off that right side, trying to get a fake out here, but Cedar Rapids Prairie just not giving up any ground at all in that defensive line, holding their positions, getting into those angles, not giving the running back any place to run.
No gain on that second down play, 3rd and 16. And Loescher sets up in the shotgun with backs to either side on 3rd down. And he also can run the ball a little bit. He was over the line of scrimmage when he threw that football, and there's the flag. Allen's coming back. He was over by 2 or 3 yards, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, the flag is down there at the 31-yard line. And again, it's a broken play. The defensive backs, we have seen this happen with Cedar Rapids Prairie. In the past this year, where they just give up defensive back responsibility, let a receiver get so wide open, and that's what happened on that play. Fortunately for Prairie, it's going to come back because of an illegal forward pass, because Loescher was over the line of scrimmage.
I think he was thinking about possibly carrying that football, and then thought, I got 16 yards to go for first down, and by the time he made the decision to throw it, he was well past the line of scrimmage. An easy call for the officials, and also loss of down, so it's 4th down 16. Punters in this game, both averaging about 38 yards per punt.
Well, here in the Unidome, you have no air movement whatsoever.
Right.
So if you could get a good kick off, a good punt, strike it just right, you can drive it a long ways, and then you get that bounce on this artificial turf.
Loescher is also the punter, averaging 37.6 yards per attempt this season. Boots it away after the 5-yard walk-off. And the return for Prairie by Colton Forsland. not a whole lot of real estate for him after the 34-yard punt, just shy of Loescher's average.
Getting a nice rush in on Loescher on that punt. He had to really just catch it and kick it. And really got a good strike from the top of his foot onto it. There's Hunter Williams, the quarterback for Cedar Rapids Prairie, left-handed throwing quarterback. Can throw it. He does have some good arm strength, but they don't throw very often.
He's thrown for just over 700 yards on the season, and he'll throw to Amir on the near side, and Tariq has more good yardage. To just over the 45-yard line, bringing up second and short.
You know how well that play worked, Bob, is because Amir, watch, he'll catch it. He's kind of fumbling with it. He doesn't really get a good grip on it. Has to come down, and he takes that extra split second to get moving, but he still was able to pick up 8 yards out to the 46. Things are going well for Prairie this early in the game.
Amir gets the carry. He cuts back this time and makes it up over the 50 for another Prairie first down.
Well, Prairie doing a nice job of locking on immediately in that offensive line. Cedar Falls getting no penetration whatsoever, so that opens up those running lanes for the running backs. He's just following Clayton Scott on that left side. He's going to break another one. You'll see that. Watch this. Cedar Falls getting no penetration whatsoever. He's just got a lane to run through. Picks up the yardage for the first down.
A couple of pancake blocks too. Cedar Falls up front, taking those Cedar Falls defensive linemen right to the ground. Direct snap to Pearson. And a big pileup right there in the center of the field after a gain of about a yard.
And the thing about Tariq, Amir, and Nick Pearson is Coach Bliss is seeing this. We saw it against Hempstead, even back against Kennedy. You know, he's not gonna throw Pearson at him right away. He's gonna run Tariq and some misdirection plays, kind of get that defense back on its heels, and then he hits him with Nick Pearson. But yet it's a 4-quarter game. He does the same thing in the fourth quarter as he does in the first quarter. That's where Prairie has been able to be successful in wearing down teams.
Williams in that shotgun, surveying the Cedar Falls defense. And this time he'll keep it himself. A little bit of a stutter step to avoid the defender. Gets inside the 45, where he has brought down big number 68 for Logan Clements for Cedar Falls in there to make the stop.
You can just see Prairie just going straight ahead. Just a quarterback off tackle run behind that offensive line, behind a couple of running backs. I mean, that's like 2 walls that are moving forward. You can see Cedar Falls has just 4 players over there with 6 looking to block them.
There comes Amir, this time the other direction, and not much running room at all. As a matter of fact, he'll be stacked up for no gain, and that will bring up 4th down. Alex Sharp made the stop defensively. It's actually not 82, but 92. Trey Weimer.
See all those people that they're pulling in those white jerseys from left to right. Cedar Falls does a nice job really to stack that up right through the middle. Nice effort out there by Colin Bonenkamp.
Prairie will go on 4th down and 5 at the 44. Trying to run for the first down is Adam Longwell, and he's not going to make it. He'll be a couple of yards shy. Cedar Falls will take over after the defensive stop.
Excellent defense by Cedar Falls. You know, Mark Bliss just using the short side of the field where that extra defender is. Nice containment there by defensive back Nathan G for 1. Kept him, they needed 5, and he only got a couple.
Loescher with the second offensive possession for Cedar Falls. Gonna keep it. Cuts upfield and has a first down into Prairie territory at the 47-yard line as Cedar Falls crosses midfield for the first time in the game.
Lead option for Loescher on that right side, and I think if he would have pitched it, that run could have gone further. Watch this. He does a good job of cutting upfield, but if he pitches it out there to his running back, you can see that there's plenty of green out there.
Yep, a lot of real estate and a blocker over on that side too, but instead he decided to keep it, got the first down. Ryan Ostrich is the man in the backfield. He'll get the pitch this time, will Ostrich, and he has made some great moves. And I think they're going to give him a first down before he went backwards. Yeah, they'll mark him at the 36-yard line. Ostrich on the season has 761 yards rushing, 11 touchdowns on a 6-yard per carry average.
Well, they just went to just a basic sweep to the right side. Nice pitch out there. He reads the linebacker, Stoner DeGroot, to get in there, and he just weaves his way through Prairie defenders and finally brought down out there by Brody Jones.
A couple of missed tackles, but Jones was solid, and he was able to get him to the ground. Losher throws near side, caught inside the 25, tried to knock him out of bounds. That's what Mason Mahoney did, but it didn't work. He's able to head up the sideline for big first down yardage. Ben Cernat has 37 catches on the year to lead the team, and that's number 38.
And you can see you just can't push him out of bounds. He's got strength after he catches the ball to run it down that left sideline. Mahoney didn't have a very good angle on him, but had enough to get some contact with him, just didn't bring him down.
First down at the 12. Losher very calm and collected at QB. Pitches back to Ostrich. He'll cut it inside at the 10, inside the 5. Drags tacklers to the Cedar Rapids Prairie 1-yard line.
Using the wide side of the field, and it's just a lead option. And that time Losher did the right thing to pitch it out to Ostrich. So you can see Losher bringing the defense to him. Now he pitches it and lets Ostrich take it from there. Nice downfield block. Joe Knudsen.
Mike White, 6'3", 285 off-pound offensive lineman, was there to push him into the end zone, but he never got the opportunity. Handoff, Ostrich into the end zone before contact is made, and Cedar Falls is pulled to within 1. Impressive drive both on the ground and that one pass to Cernat as well. 58 yards on that possession and that touchdown drive for the Tigers.
Now just push off that offensive line. We got a nice lead block by the fullback in there, Jagger Borcherding. Changes the complexity of this game.
Bryce Albaugh's extra point up and through. Albaugh is only missed once this year, 37 of 38 on extra points. It's a tie game. We'll be back on MC22. Back inside the Unidome, there you see Mr. Ryan Ostrich with his 12th touchdown run of the year. And he was very impressive on that drive, and a wonderful throw by Losher, also hitting Ben Cernat, his top receiver. Just textbook pretty much on that drive for Cedar Falls. Now Prairie gets the chance to answer, and we'll have another touchback. They'll start again at the 20-yard line.
Ostrich had 3 carries in that possession of the 5 plays. 9-yard pickup, 11-yard pickup for 20, and then the last 1 yard for the touchdown.
And of course the big play to Cernat in there as well. First down at the 20. The Prairie Hawk offense comes back out.
Just need to establish themselves, get downfield, move the chains, get some rhythm going. Now they've switched to an unbalanced line to the right.
Boy, look at that line pull on that play. Gain of 3 or 4. They'll mark him at about the 24-yard line. So give 4 yards to the man who runs the football an awful lot for this team. That is Nick Pearson.
And it's interesting, they do an unbalanced line to the right, which means they take their left tackle, move him over to the right side, so they just have a left guard and they just have a tight end over there. Then they pull everybody back to the left because the defense shifts that way.
Pearson came into this game with 163 carries on the year. That's about 60 more than Tariq Amir, and he got the call again on 2nd down, picks up 2, 3rd down, 4 yards to go for the Hawks.
Well, Cedar Falls is picking up on some tendencies. They've watched enough film to see when that ball is directly snapped back to Nick Pearson and what he's going to do with it. Right now, he's just been running between the tackles. We'll see if that doesn't change here, as Coach Mark Bliss may stretch that out a little bit to get him outside the tackle towards the tight end and get an outside run.
You saw Coach Brad Remmert from Cedar Falls there. And now to throw on 3rd down and caught. Beautiful catch by Amir as Hunter Williams was able to drop it right in there for a 1st down. Well executed on both ends.
Boy, what a beautiful touch pass by Hunter Williams. But Tariq does an excellent job to catch this over top of his head. Watch this. Tariq at the bottom of the screen in the slot position, and Hunter just puts it up over top of him. A nice soft pass. Remember, there's no air movement in here, so that ball is not being wiggled by a strong wind at all.
Makes that pass, which can be really hard, especially in windy conditions, a lot easier. 13 yards from Williams to Amir on 1st down. And not a whole lot of running room for Pearson on this 1st down attempt.
Well, they're keying on Nick Pearson. Not that they're not paying attention to Tariq Amir. See, here's the direct snap, and he tries to make a fake to Tariq Amir. Cedar Falls not buying it whatsoever. So on those particular plays on the direct snap to Nick, Cedar Falls is holding up that offensive line. They're getting in those gaps, allowing any running room.
Pearson and Amir both average more than 9 yards per carry. 2nd down and 10. No gain on that 1st down play. They'll keep it again, and maybe a yard. That'll be about it. 3rd and long again for the Hawks.
Well, that time, again, Cedar Falls, that defensive line is stiffening up, getting lower than that offensive line of Cedar has Prairie, and Prairie's not able to move them out.
Wholesale changes for Prairie as this 3rd down play comes up.
Going to a spread formation now with 2 receivers on either side of the line of scrimmage, and Tariq in the backfield with Hunter.
Williams wanted to make a quick throw. Instead, delayed a little bit and then off the fingertips of Johnny Jones, who has 5 catches on the year, and that brings up 4th down 10.
Big Bonner did a nice job to get into the backfield and make Hunter Williams pass this road. Watch number 56 come in there, right? Get to him.
Jones actually has 15 catches. I think I said 5. 15 catches for 338 yards coming into this game. Sam Braxic to punt, but a whistle before the snap. Braxic averaging about 39.5 yards per punt. Nope, they're going to wave off the flag. So if they thought maybe there was a delay of game, I don't know what that could have been.
Well, they gave Braxton, the punter, a chance to get a practice swing in.
And he gets a nice boot away. It'll hit at the 25 and take a road team roll inside the 5. It'll be down at the 3-yard line. That is a punt. Took him a while to get it off, but it's a 59-yard effort by Braxic.
Well, why it took him so long is it was a high snap for one, so he had to reposition himself. Watch him go up. Now he has to reposition himself, but look at the penetration that Cedar Falls gets in there. So he had to move to his left. Really does a nice job to see, I've got an opening, I can get a punt off here.
That is a wonderful job by him. That could have been a disaster, but as you said, he sidestepped the defenders and then was able to really get his foot into it. So Cedar Falls now starting within the shadow of their own goal line. Loescher hands off, and that Cedar Rapids Prairie defense allows only about a 1-yard gain. Bo Gross, the ball carrier.
Well, Gross early in the year ran, in their first game of the year, ran for over 100 yards, and then he sustained ankle injuries. But you see, he looks like he's pretty healthy here. Takes a while to recover from those, but he had a good compliment to Ostrich.
Nick Fetters and Nick Friel in there defensively for Prairie. Loescher pitches it back. Gross again. Nowhere for him to go, and that will be the end of quarter number 1 as the clock rolls to double zeros. Or triple zeros, I guess. A gain of about 2. It is 3rd down and 7 when we come back to start quarter number 2, and a tie game on MC22. Bob James with Jerry Koala inside the Unidome. And Jerry, there you see Cedar Falls, and it has been a very even first 12 minutes of this football game, not just on the scoreboard, but really the game in general.
Well, the thing is, they didn't panic after Cedar Rapids Prairie. Tarika Mir runs for 66 yards in their first, first possession of the game. They settled in. They got their offense going. They finally scored on a penetration themselves into Prairie territory. So yeah, evenly balanced. Each team able to establish themselves best they can. In that first quarter, Prairie with 119 yards of offense on 16 offensive plays. Cedar Falls with 55 on 9 plays. Obviously about half of that on the Amir run that you just mentioned. Prairie with a chance to flip field position here. 3rd down 7. Cedar Falls on their own 5. Gross will get another carry, and nowhere for him to go. Just took way too long for that play to develop. Bo Gross dropped for a loss of a couple yards on the play. Scotty Clayton there defensively, or Clayton Scott, excuse me. Yeah, I mean, you can see how long it takes for it to develop, and Clayton Scott and then Nick Friel just fighting off their blocks. So now Loescher will be about a yard from the back of his end zone to receive the snap to punt it back to Cedar Falls, or to Cedar Rapids Prairie, I should say. Gets it away, and he gets off a great boot, too, that's going to hit just outside the 40-yard line on the Prairie side, and it'll roll all the way down inside the 25 and be down at the 23. Nice kick. That one for 75 yards. Not very often you see a 59-yard punt followed by a 75-yard punt, but that's exactly what has happened here inside. That inside part doesn't hurt. No, and he got his foot into it, Bob, and he hit a spiral that went up. And when you do that, you get that ball turns over at its apex, and then, you know, it's 50-50 whether it's going to hit and roll or hit and bounce straight up. And this time it just happened to hit and roll. So Prairie thought they were going to get great field position, will instead start inside their 25 after that wonderful boot by Loescher. Look at all that movement right before the snap on both sides of the ball. Well schooled on both sides. And the first down carry, not much running room again for big number 43, Nick Pearson. Well, again, they're just shifting into an unbalanced line to the right and getting the Cedar Falls defense to shift with it, but they're not. That's a nice defensive effort there by the defensive end for Cedar Falls. Trey Weimer, who's just fighting off the block of that of the tight end because the left tackle has moved over to the right side. Weimer's 6 foot 220. 1 yard gain. And Amir gets the carry, breaks into the clear. What a wonderful block he received, too, by 79 Colton Staub. And for the second time tonight, it's a long touchdown run for Tariq Amir.
76 yards. That follows the 60-plus yarder he had on the first drive of the game.
That's the exact same play they scored on in that first possession of the game. They got things set up properly how they wanted to. You know, all that jumping around, the formation moving, and they got Cedar Falls in a vulnerable position. You can see 3 defenders on the right side, and Tariq, once he gets into that defensive backfield, he's going to be tough to catch, and you can see that Jabril Bailey just couldn't catch him.
Amir is having a quarter, or half, I should say. We're just into the second quarter now. 272 yards rushing last week. He's nearing 150 in the first half tonight. PAT is good, and Prairie takes the lead back 14-7.
Nice job offensively. We'll see if that defense can step up to play. You'll see it again. They just go from right to left. They pull right guard, right tackle. They've got Nick Frill leading. You see the block there, and Tariq just getting into the open field.
Amir is actually over 150 yards, 156 on the ground on just 5 totes of the football.
That's what that running game will do for you, Bob, especially when it's, like the single wing that they're running with so much deception in that backfield, so much movement. Defense sometimes can get fooled a little bit and just get out of position. And it doesn't take a whole strength block. You saw Colton Staub do his job, but everybody else can just bump block, and Tariq's going to slip behind that.
Walter set to kick it away. A high kick, fair catch called for and made at the 27-yard line by Ben Cernette. It's one big difference in these two teams is the kickoffs. 35 touchbacks by Bryce Albaugh of Cedar Falls this season, and only 6 by Cedar Rapids Prairie.
The talent that each of these teams has. The last thing you need to do is let a special team play beat you. Yeah. And so Cedar Falls does a nice job really to fair catch this to get it at the 28.
Loescher pumps, throws, got a man, and incomplete. And we will not have a flag. Face guarding. Not a rule in high school football. The coverage by 15, Nick Friel downfield.
Yeah, no contact whatsoever. You see the arm that Loescher has putting this ball up into the air.
Yeah, good looking throw.
Nick reading the eyes of the receiver when he goes up to catch the ball. Nick just gets his arms up and tries to deflect it.
Nick, a 5'9", 175-pound senior. Loescher will hand off. Ostrich. Good looking ball carrier too, and he may have that first down. They're going to give him forward progress at the 38. They're signaling second down, but it is certainly second and short. Actually, the referee now taking a look, he's going to bring in the chains.
Yeah, he's short by about half the length of the football. And it's interesting, they spread out, so you got to have that defense will spread with you. That's when that defensive line and those linebackers have got to be very solid in those gaps. When you spread your defense out like that, you have fewer players around the football when it comes to being able to tackle them. And that's why Ostrich was able to run for the 10 yards.
You're going to stick with that short by half the football?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, it's short.
First down.
Oh.
I gave you the chance.
No, I don't think the referee had his playing card with him,
I'm just kidding. I wasn't sure. I just.
Well, look to me like the first down marker was beyond the 38.
Yeah, right on the line.
Or on it, and then the nose of the ball was short. But
I would have agreed with you, but we both would have lost that one. First down, 10 to go for Cedar Falls at their own 38. Loescher got a man wide open over the middle. That's Ben Cernat. Cernat sheds one tackler, breaks into the open field, now cuts it back, and is drugged down from behind by Nick Friel after a big play for the Tigers. Well, these guys, when they get in the open field, they are tough to bring down. 42 yards from Loescher to Cernat.
Just a regular short post pattern against that zone defense. Loescher reads it nicely. Cernat runs a great pattern to get in between free safety, cornerback, and linebacker. And then he just uses his athletic ability from there to pick up the rest of the 42 yards.
Ben's second big catch and run of the night. Loescher didn't like what he saw or was running out of time on the play clock. Either way, calls timeout. Cedar Falls does with 9:14 to go in the half. They'll talk it over and we'll be back on MC 22. Back inside the Unidome, and you see the short sleeves, which tells you on a late October night that we are indoors here in Cedar Falls, Iowa, and the crowd is loving it, and a wonderful student contingent on both sides of the field. There you see the Cedar Falls side of the field, and they're decked out in pink for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we've got a good one going on the field so far with Prairie up by a touchdown, but Cedar Falls on the move.
Yeah, nice 41-yard pass completion from Loescher to Cernat puts them deep into Prairie territory.
Loescher 66 yards through the air, and all of those yards through the air to Cernat, and then right up the middle, Ostrich to make it a one-point game.
It was a delayed handoff. It was a draw. Cedar Falls did enough at the offensive line. Watch the left side. They kick out and seal down. Schwarzenegger can't bring him down. And there's no middle fill, no middle linebacker fill. Free safety has vacated. I'm sure that Ostrich was as surprised as anybody that from 20 yards in, he had that much room to work with.
21-yard run, and the extra point is right through, and we've come even again, 14-14, as the big players are showing up. So far in this game, 66 yards receiving for Cernat, and Ostrich has had some big plays on the ground, including this 21-yarder right up the middle to pull Cedar Falls to within one, and of course the extra point has tied it.
And in games like this, Bob, it comes down to making that tackle in that backfield to not allow that to happen, you know, or a deflected pass downfield, whatever it might be, a big defensive play to stop, you know, a third down and short or fourth down and short. And right now we're seeing actually both of these offensive teams be successful with big plays that they were just able to execute well enough, keep that defense off balance.
Well, we've got a couple of offensive teams that can really move and score with the football. We knew that coming in, and so far the offenses have been better than the defensive counterparts. We'll see if that continues. Cedar Falls ready to kick it away, and Prairie to take another offensive possession. Amir back deep along with Colton Forsland. You see him right there. Forsland, the 5'9", 160-pound junior, and a whistle. I think we'll have an offside call against Cedar Falls.
Yeah, Riley Barnett was a step beyond the 40-yard line before Allball was even able to kick it. Benefit Cedar Rapids Prairie here quite a bit, unless Allball can kick it beyond the Panthers logo in that north end zone.
And we'll see just how strong that leg is now after that 5-yard walk-off. Prairie return men still between the goal line and the 5-yard line, and it'll still go into the end zone where Forsland will catch it for the touchback.
Guess he proved us right, didn't he, Bob?
Yes, he did. Kid definitely got a leg. First down for Prairie. They start once again at the 20-yard line. Third time they've been kicked to, and 3 touchbacks so far. Williams with the quarterback, and of course it was big 43 Nick Pearson again, the 5'10", 180-pound junior. He'll be back next year. Tariq Amir, a senior, but plenty of weapons on this Prairie offense that'll be back next year as well.
Well, you know, Nick's just going to keep running the football, and he's going to keep being able to get a little bit more on every carry until he breaks that big one. That's part of this running attack.
Williams gets the direct snap a little bit high. Cuts it back. Nice pursuit by Cedar Falls. Jabril Bailey there to bring him down along with Caden Barnett.
Well, you know, this is a Cedar Falls defense, unlike any defense that Cedar Rapids Prairie has seen this year. Maybe Waukee for sure, but you know, they read their keys, they do their assignments well. So it's not as if that, you know, Nick's going to be able to run 25, 30 yards on each of those plays when he breaks it loose.
Third down 3. Williams throws over the head of the intended receiver. I think he was trying to get it to Burkle. And over his head. Gabe, 6'7", 230, only a sophomore, and he's got a bright future ahead of him in a couple of different sports, possibly.
Yeah, well, you know, if the pass was high over him, that tells you how high that pass was,
right.
You know. Hunter's got to get his feet set, throw a strike. I'm sure that his line of sight was blocked by a red jersey. I think that's why he had to throw it over the top.
Braxic in to punt again. Albaugh back to receive. Another good punt. Albaugh will field it at the 33. Sidesteps a couple of defenders. Great team coverage. Oh, fumble, and he's able to pick it back up. It bounced right back into Albaugh's hands, and a great job of pursuit by the entire Cedar Falls or Cedar Rapids Prairie special teams after that 38-yard punt. He just keeps running for the sideline thinking he's going to find some real estate. Never really did.
Got some shifty hips out there,
yeah.
And he just loses control of the football, but he did a nice job to scramble to get it back.
Brody Jones, I believe, is the one who knocked it loose for Prairie. First down at the 34 for the Tigers.
They're doubling up on Cernette out there on the outside on the left. They had him in single coverage. But
there he goes, Cernette. And he's able to break a tackle, and he'll take it all the way to the house again with a couple of wonderful blocks along the way. Brody Jones had a chance to get him, but he couldn't, and Ostrich 761 yards rushing coming into the game, and he's piling up the touchdowns tonight too. He came into the game with 11 of them.
And the people were watching at the beginning, you see Friel there, number 15, went out to undercover Cernette out on the outside, and that took him away from that linebacker responsibility. They handed off to Ostrich. He's got a wide open field to run.
First lead of the game for Cedar Falls after that 66-yard run by Ostrich, and the extra point is good. So we've had a couple of big touchdown runs by Cedar Rapids Prairie, and now a huge run by Cedar Falls. Ostrich has scored on a 21-yard run earlier in this game too, so the the guys are showing off a little bit in the backfield so far.
You know, Ostrich has, I think, all 3 of their touchdowns. He scored on a 1-yard touchdown run
right
at the very beginning of one of their first possessions. But again, Prairie trying to double up on Cernette. They don't need him one-on-one coverage out there on the cornerback. And so I don't know that Loescher audibleized to the off-tackle play or if that's just the play that happened to be run. But when Nick Friel vacated that right linebacker position out to the split inside, That opened up that lane for Ostrich to run through. Cedar Falls did a nice job to block it well. And they take their first lead.
Ostrich now with 118 yards on the ground. His longest run, as you might guess, that 66-yarder that he just took to pay dirt. 3 touchdowns on the night on only 7 carries.
Well, this game's going to shape up tonight, Bob. You'll see lots of scoring.
It certainly looks that way so far. Forsland and Amir back. And it will be Forsland from just outside the goal line. Splits the defenders and gets almost to the 30-yard line before he's brought down by Jace Seeger.
Nice return, had a little gap up the middle on that left side. Just needed one more block to get to the outside.
Trevor Fisher was also in there to help out on that stop. He and Jace Seeger. Williams up the middle, and he'll bust a couple of tackles. Nick Pearson up over the 40-yard line to the 42.
He's got a little edge run. Snapped directly back to him, and he faked to Tariq. Watch us there, and then he just follows Hunter Williams to the left side. Nice offensive line play by that Prairie interior offensive line. Jack Halverson at center to lead it.
Nice fake by Pearson, too, because they really have to respect Amir, what he's done on the ground tonight. Another fake to Amir. And Pearson didn't find a lot of running room that time. He'll pick up 2, maybe 3 yards.
Same play this time, just to the right side. Coach Bliss just kind of picking his way downfield. He's reading, getting conferences instruction from the press box of the coaches to find out which way their Cedar Falls defensive line is slanting versus various formations.
Trey Weimer jumped on top of Pearson to bring him down that time. And more than likely, that's an illegal procedure, false start.
Yeah, look at that Colton stop. Started just a little bit too soon. You know, he got a little antsy. Big guy wants to get out there and knock somebody down. Left just a little early. Get a good look at that Prairie sideline. Mark Bliss. Lathan Bass right there to his right, our left. You see, he played football at Co. You know, graduated 6 years ago, perhaps 5 or 6 years ago, as offensive lineman from Central Iowa. Rockwell Swaledale, as a matter of fact.
Adam Longwell kept it that time. Not much running room for him either. 3rd down and 10 upcoming. Logan Clements, the 6'4", 200-pound senior there to make the stop.
Watch Clements come from his right to his left, right across that line of scrimmage, getting to Adam Longwell. There was a hole there. Longwell just didn't get to it fast enough and was brought down. They'll give him 2. Nice effort. Again, this is a defense unlike what Prairie has seen this year. You know, it's a perennial excellent Cedar Falls football team.
Yeah, fast and athletic on that defense. Nice pass, completion, 1st down yardage. That is Johnny Jones, and Jones picking his way down the near sideline along the Prairie bench. He has 1st down to the Cedar Falls 29.
2 things is he's able to catch that ball. Nice delivery by Hunter Williams to him. He'll come across from right to left. Good play action. Hunter rolls out to his left, and Johnny coming right across the field makes the catch. Now he's avoiding Cedar Falls players. Strong enough to get beyond them. Picks up Clayton Scott block.
Oh, great jump by Hunter Williams, too, who knew he was going to get hit, but stood in there and delivered the 1st down pass, a gain of 30. Longwell trying to go the other way. Wonderful defensive stop. That is Cale Loescher. No, it's actually number 9, Alex Paxson, who made the stop.
Well, he's out there on that left side. Just contained is what he is. A lot of activity. Probably should have cut it right up the middle. I'm not sure that he has the option.
Dove right at those legs and took him down for a loss of 4. Or 5, I guess, back to the 34. Williams way over the head of, I think he was trying to go to Burkle, but that one was well overthrown. And luckily for Prairie, it dropped harmlessly to the turf. Williams and Burkle talking. I wonder if he thought he was going to be somewhere else. Burkle will come to the sideline now along with Clayton Scott, excuse me.
Well, it's an interesting thought. I think he was going directly to Burkle. I'm not quite sure if a red jersey wasn't in his line of sight trying to throw that ball to lead Burkle, and he had to throw it high.
And Bliss will call timeout for Prairie on a key 3rd down and long play here with 4:36 to go in the half.
Well, you can see how important this possession is. They've done a nice job. They started back at their 29. They're now at the Cedar Falls 34-yard line, mixing things up. I think they want to make sure that everybody knows the play they're going to run, and he might even be talking to them about the 2 or 3 different plays they run. They get inside the 35, they can get into the red zone. It kind of changes what their scheme might be. Not changes, but they have a different scheme set up. I want to make sure that everybody knows what's going on every play. They need to pick up positive yards. They got a 3rd and 14 here, Bob, and you know on 4th down they're going to go for it anyway. So if they can pick up at least half the yardage here, it would make that 4th down play a little bit more manageable.
Well, we saw Johnny Jones catch that key pass a few moments ago. He leads the team with 16 catches on the season, and you have to assume that he'll be the target here. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, it's interesting. They don't have to go deep on a pattern unless Hunter can read Johnny Jones running by the cornerback. Otherwise, pick up the 10 to 12 yards or maybe the 15 that it takes for the 1st down. Hit the sure thing first.
Williams will have 3 receivers to his left, along with Amir in the backfield, and then 1 receiver to the right, and he'll roll to the left. The lefty over the line of scrimmage. He's just going to have to run it now, and he is down at the 27.
All right, does a nice job to pick up yardage. 7. Again, it brings up a manageable 4th down play here. Wasn't really anybody open. I know he was trying to go back across the middle. He was looking
right there. I thought he was going to do the same thing that Ostrich did earlier and was going to pass beyond the line of scrimmage, but he realized the situation, that he was already over the line, and tucked it and ran for a gain of 4 yards down to the 26. Williams looks to the corner of the end zone and incomplete. He's trying to get it to Johnny Jones, who is going to be around the 5-yard line, but good defense down there, knocking it away by Connor Brown.
Well, I think he was trying to pinpoint his pass when he probably should have just thrown it to the end zone. Johnny Jones was running up that sideline. I think he ran it down and out and back down again. You see him right there. Throw it to the end zone. Let Johnny run underneath it.
It's actually Nathan G that got high into the air to get a hand on it. He was really the only person on the field that had an opportunity to catch that football, and Cedar Falls takes over on downs at their own 26.
Been a while since that offense has been on the field for Cedar Falls, but it's important for Prairie's defense not to allow the big play here.
Flag is down, and that's false start against the Tigers.
I think one of the offensive linemen flinched a little bit. Frio comes sneaking up to the line of scrimmage on that left side. Maybe he heard something. You know, you sometimes go on those silent counts, Bob, and you're waiting for the snap, and you get a little antsy.
You could see a little bit of the frustration from Brad Remmert over on the Cedar Falls sideline after that flag. Ostrich, boy, he's got all kinds of running room when he gets the football, and he'll cut it along the sideline. Tries to avoid a defender, but can't do it as Ashton Stoner to Group brings him down.
I'll tell you what, he's got some fleet feet. He moves well, changes direction well, gets up to full speed when he sees the openings.
Just a lot of space out there for him.
Prairie just not doing a particularly good job of tackling, nor getting angles well enough to be able to make that solid tackle.
Well, wonderful job by Stoner to Groot, who just kept pursuing that play and went all the way over to the sideline to knock him down and out of bounds.
You got Cernette one-on-one out there on the left side.
Loescher looks right and gets blasted, but is able to get away from it, and now is brought down. Originally, it was Nick Friel who got his hands on him, but give the sack to big 44 Jake DeGroot.
Well, Friel's going to get some credit to this. I'll tell you what, Loescher's looking to the right, but if he looks to his left, he's got Cernette past the cornerback already on his first 2 steps. He could have just laid it out there. I'm sure that's what they're going to come up with. They're going to say, hey, they're only giving us 4 yards cushion out there on that outside.
Friel was happy for DeGroot, but at the same time very frustrated with himself that he wasn't able to get Loescher to the ground. 3rd down and 13. And here they come again.
Screen.
And it is set up over on that side, and he may take it again. Down the sideline, gonna try to outrun the defenders, and he'll be into the end zone for the 4th time tonight. Ryan Ostrich again. This one covers 77 yards. Boy, that was set up beautifully.
Boy, it sure was out on that left side.
You could just see as soon as the pass was thrown, that had a chance to go all the way, and that's exactly how it materialized.
Well, Loescher does a nice job to draw everybody into him. Prairie had a little blitz on. You see some players back here on the backside not running very hard to get to the player.
Extra point. Up and good with 2.5 minutes to go in the first half. Cedar Falls has now opened up a 2-touchdown lead. And Ostrich has run like a half marathon here in the first half.
He's put a lot of effort into it. Turned up a lot of yards, a lot of total yards for that young man. And he's probably just getting warmed up.
3 plays, 74 yards, and that 77-yard touchdown pass from Ostrich to Ostrich.
That really hurts Cedar Rapids Prairie. As I talked about, they couldn't give up the big play with that little time left. Now it's really crucial for Cedar Rapids Prairie to get something out of this possession with 2.5 minutes to go, almost to score. Remember, you got the number 2 team in Class 4A in Cedar Falls, your opponent. So you're not going to get number 1 many possessions, and number 2, if you're not going to be productive with your possessions, obviously you're not going to win this game, trailing now by 2 touchdowns.
Well, a few weeks ago we did Dubuque Hempstead against Cedar Rapids Prairie, and we saw in that game on a few occasions where Prairie's pass defense gave up some big plays, and that's one there obviously through the air for Cedar Falls. They've had some big runs by Ostrich as well. That one a big run after the short pass.
You know, on the screen pass, Bob, it's not necessarily defensive backfield coverage. It's linebackers getting out to the running back. It's, surrounding that young man and not letting him get through any gaps. It's just a matter of who's more determined here at this point.
Prairie will start again at their 20-yard line. They've done that on every possession except for one, and Ostrich he'd like to have a cart to take him to the locker room for his rest in between here.
Yeah, get him some B12 vitamins, at halftime. Some orange juice, get some juice in him that'll get him that instant energy.
Saw the smile from him there. Oh yeah, I'm okay. I'm just a little tired right now. Amir gets the carry on first down. Tripped up, or he might have had big yards.
Well, I think this is what Mark Bliss is going to go back to. The passing game really hasn't worked. They've had it in Cedar Falls territory. The last possession, they lost it on downs. They had to punt the possession before that. Cedar Falls has scored twice, so he's just going to turn it over to that running game now. Second
down 6 on the 24. Just a couple minutes left in the half, and Prairie has 2 timeouts remaining. Both teams have 2 timeouts left, as a matter of fact. Now Williams will throw near side, right on the sideline. Big hit by Alex Paxson. Catch was made. Pretty impressive to hang on to that one.
Yeah, it wasn't. The rollout to his left, they had a trips formation out to the left side. Hunter is looking for a receiver, and he finds Paxson. Excuse me, he finds Colton Forsland for the reception and the first down.
Williams throws again over the head of the intended receiver. Coverage there again for Prairie by Nathan G.
I mean, just run a deep out. I think G wasn't going to let anybody run by him. So, you know, you get off the ball and you sprint as hard as you can, and all of a sudden at 15 to 18 yards, you cut it off and make a square out because the defensive back has turned to run with you. Complete that pass.
Second down, Williams completes it to Adam Longwell. Longwell short of the first down, brings up third down as the clock runs with 1.5 minutes to go. Amir trying to pick his way for the first down, and he will over the 40-yard line. No, he's actually short. I believe they marked him at the 41. And he will be short by about a half yard or so.
I don't think there's any question that they'll go for it here. Just line up and get the first down, and then run another play. Here's Tariq getting the direct snap. That's some nice downfield blocking. Just one more block they needed.
I don't know, this is dangerous, Jerry. With the way Cedar Falls has been moving that football. 4th down and a yard in your own territory with 1 minute left and 2 timeouts still on the board for Cedar Falls.
Sometimes your best plays are the ones that have the most risk to them.
And now Prairie will call a timeout. Coach Bliss gonna set the stage, or I don't think he's reconsidering. I think he just wants to get everybody over there and make sure they're all on the same page for this 4th down play.
Got to be organized, get the right formation set up, and give them a little bit of a breather here so they can make sure they make the right blocks. They can see what that defense is in. They pick up the first down, if not break a big one at this point. It's vital right here. This is a crucial possession for Cedar Rapids Prairie. Even if they don't score with 1.9 minutes to go in this game, they don't end up scoring. At least they're getting some momentum, and that's what he's trying to rebuild, is that momentum.
Yeah, but Cedar Falls will get the ball to start the second half. Now flag, and it's going to be against Cedar Falls by every indication. Offside.
Boy, you got to discipline yourself as a defensive lineman. When Prairie, it was a quick snap count, quick audio by Williams, and all of a sudden the offensive linemen are shifting position, and it drew that whole defensive line.
The officials discuss.
We'll see if one of them doesn't go forward. No.
They're going to reconsider this?
No, they can't, because the defensive end had gone off over the line of scrimmage. It is an offside.
Unless they're considering that something the offense did pull the defense offside, that was illegal.
What we just saw did not happen.
And there you go, first down.
Because they went laterally, they didn't move forward, nobody leaned forward. That's good discipline for Cedar Rapids Prairie. We run that a few times every practice to make sure that you pick up the yardage necessary.
Good discipline by the officials, too, to make sure they were all on the same page and in agreement with the call. And they end up being just that. Williams completes. That's Brody Jones. And Jones crosses midfield to the 48 as we hit the 1 minute mark.
You gotta hustle up. You don't want to let too much time run off the clock here. Jones coming from the bottom of your screen, left to right.
Prairie still has 1 timeout on the board. Williams wants to throw deep. Now he's going to have to run. Good job of splitting a couple of defenders, and he gets a first down at the 36.
Excellent play by Hunter to pick up the first down. He got down to the ground quickly, realizing he couldn't run for the score. The clock stops. I think it'll start before. Yep, it's going now.
Williams wants to throw again. Low and incomplete.
Cedar Falls doing an excellent job of downfield coverage. They know where their assignment is. Alex Paxson had the flat with the pass going out to Forsland. The cornerback was deep. Free safety was over on that side. They read the quarterback's eyes. They're seeing where all the receivers are at.
Prairie's longest field goal of the year, if you're wondering about that, 37 yards. Incomplete on that attempt to Brody Jones. As Prairie is facing a 3rd down and 10.
Interesting that Cedar Falls has forced Prairie to start throwing the ball. I guess a little bit I'm surprised that they've done that, Prairie, because of how good that running game is.
Williams sets up the screen to Amir. Didn't quite get the blocks he needed, though, and he'll be tossed out of bounds at the 30. Nathan G again,
he stays
the defensive player there.
If he stays to the left, he's running down that seam into the end zone. This is set up nicely. Tariq will slip out to the right side. You'll see blocking to his right, but the opening is to his left, right there. He stayed to the right.
Boy, Eli Mickey for Cedar Falls blew up a block and was able to get in there and get his hands around the ankles of the receiver to really end any further progress from Amir at that point. With 17 seconds left, Prairie will call their final timeout. They're about a 47-yard field goal where they sit now, so 4th down and 5, that is obviously outside the normal range.
Well, with the ball at the 30 and it's on the right hash, Hunter's a left-handed quarterback. I think they want to roll him out to his left, use the sideline, get a pass to a receiver for the first down. They've run out of timeouts now. They've used their 3rd one here, but get the ball out of bounds, move the chains, come back with a couple of more pass plays, see if they can't somehow get this thing in the end zone.
This is the 11th play of the Cedar Rapids Prairie drive. You don't think about it being that long, but they've done a good job of doing it quickly because they didn't have a lot of time left on the clock. And maybe that's part of the reason they went to the air, because keeping the ball on the ground, obviously with short yardage gains, you're going to eat up a lot of clock.
That's right. But at the same time, those pass plays, they've had numerous incompletions.
Yeah.
3 of them on the 11 plays, 2 of them back to back. We need those to be productive too.
Amir, I think, has the first down. It's close.
But the clock's going to move here with 9 seconds once they get set. So
yep.
Prairie's got to get up in that offensive line.
The Cedar Falls crowd thought he was short, but I don't believe he is. Going to measure, and you're absolutely right, Coach Bliss and the Prairie team needs to get ready just as soon as they get it ready for play, if it's a first down, which we're 0 for 1, but I'm pretty sure this time it is.
Well, I don't think that the clock will move now as soon as they get it set back in place. Yeah, because of the measurement. But they're at the 26-yard line. You may have 2 plays
Yeah, at most, probably.
And if you go for the end zone on the first one, he's going to eat up at least 7 to 8 seconds. So
first down by at least the length of the football.
And that was a direct snap right to Tariq Amir.
He did a good job finding enough yardage there, because when he got that snap, it didn't look like he was going to make it. But.
Yep, it does start. Okay.
And Prairie doesn't seem to be, well, they're going to just have one play.
They're going to go to the end zone. Oh, they're going to double pass.
Forsland, double pass, got a man wide open, touchdown. How about that?
Wow.
Johnny Jones from Forsland from Williams.
Wow. As time ran out.
Well, that's a momentum changer.
What do they think of next? You know, Bob, I'm telling you.
That was impressive. Here we are. I didn't think they were even going to get the snap off, but they had a major trick up the sleeve.
They did, and you can see Forsland was well back, made a lateral out of this. It would have been okay even if it had been behind the line of scrimmage. And you can see Johnny Jones has slipped past that defensive backfield coverage, and Forsland just had to lay it out there to him.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's a easy catch, but a tough catch for Johnny Jones, because he was so wide open. What a wonderful play by Prairie. Wow, and that has pulled them back to within a touchdown at the break, as they've scored a touchdown on the final play of the second quarter. It's 28-21 in favor of Cedar Falls. We thought we would have a good one, and we certainly have. Halftime highlights coming up. You're watching high school football on MC22. A high-scoring affair here at halftime. Cedar Falls leading Cedar Rapids Prairie 28-21. Jerry, let's go right to the halftime highlights.
As you can imagine, two good teams with two good offenses. Prairie gets the ball to begin the game, and on the fourth play from scrimmage, it's Tariq Amir streaking down that left sideline, finishing off a 66-yard run for score, giving Prairie a 7-0 lead. But Cedar Falls would come right back on its second possession with a 1-yard touchdown run by Ryan Ostrich. But here's Tariq Amir again in the second quarter, the second play from scrimmage. This one covers 76 yards down that left sideline, not to be caught. Prairie with a 14-7 lead. But Cedar Falls would take off now as Ryan Ostrich on their very next possession. The fourth play runs 21 yards for a score. And the big play was a 41-yard pass completion. And then on the very next possession, Ostrich again on a 66-yard touchdown run. And then his fourth touchdown in the first half come on a screen pass that covered 77 yards. That was after Prairie had turned the ball over on downs at the Cedar Falls Prairie 26-yard line. But just before halftime, as time runs out, Prairie finds a way to go 50 yards, 2.5 minutes. They have a halfback pass out to Colton Forsland, finds Johnny Jones wide open at the 3-yard line. He takes it in for the score, thus a 28-21 deficit for the Prairie Hawks.
Well, one of the biggest surprises, maybe the biggest one of all, as you look at the stats, Prairie threw for over 100 yards in the first half. That is not common. They've run the ball very well as well. 224 yards on the ground, and obviously Cedar Falls very balanced as they typically are. But let's look at the numbers from Ryan Ostrich and Tariq Amir. Ostrich touched the ball 9 times in the first half, 205 all-purpose yards, averaging almost 23 yards per touch. And for Tariq Amir, 11 times he touched the ball, 193 all-purpose yards, and that's 17.5 per touch. 166 yards on the ground for Amir, 128 on the ground for Ostrich. And of course, Ostrich, his only reception, that 77-yard touchdown catch. So big halves for each of them in a great half of football.
No question about it. They're showing their talents here in this final regular season game of the year.
Cedar Falls gets the ball to start the second half in just a few minutes as we enjoy the Cedar Falls Marching Band here inside the Unidome on MC22. back inside the Unidome and ready for second half football. You see Cedar Falls strolling back to their bench on the opposing side. Both teams have been out on the field stretching and getting ready for the second half. And there are the two guys who have certainly been the stars of this game thus far. Ostrich for Cedar Falls and Amir, who's in the back there, seated for Cedar Rapids Prairie.
Yeah, you know, Tariq Amir and Ryan Ostrich, our target, our focus here tonight. They've called the right plays for them. They've been able to be the productive part of each of their offenses. And just fortunately for Cedar Falls, that Ostrich has got in the end zone 4 times, and Tariq with just the 2 touchdowns. And we'll see how much that continues here in this second half.
Well, and Ostrich, as we saw at the end of the first half, after that 4th touchdown of the half for him, he was literally laying over on the ground, just trying to find some energy again. And now I'm sure he's feeling much better after that break at halftime. And of course, Cedar Rapids Prairie had the ball an extended period of time there at the end of the first half as well, getting that key touchdown on the double pass on the final play of the second quarter.
Yeah, 2.5 minutes that they had to get it done. 12 plays they did it in, Bob, and they went 80 yards. So that's, you know, a real testament to, you know, what Cedar Rapids Prairie is confident in what they're capable of doing.
Cedar Falls to get the football to start the third quarter. Bryce Albaugh back there at the 5-yard line, ready to receive it for the Tigers. And instead, we'll have another short kick fielded at the 24-yard line by Paxson, and he's dropped at the 30 after a gain of about 6 on that return.
Can't say that that was what was in mind for Cedar Rapids Prairie, what Mark Bliss wanted his kicker to do, but can't change it now.
They'll mark it at the 31, so that's where Cedar Falls will start. As you see, A.J. Walter coming off the field after that kickoff, tee in hand. Will hand it off to Gross. And the ball's on the ground, and I think Cedar Falls, or Cedar Rapids Prairie, I mean, is recovered. Indeed, they did. So Gross, who put the ball on the turf in one of his first carries in the first half, but it was able to get it back. Actually, no, that wasn't Gross. That's Gross's first fumble of the night. Cedar Falls, though, did fumble early in the football game.
Yeah, it was ripped out of him. Watch this on the tackle. He's trying to cut back to his right side.
It was Bryce Albaugh who fumbled early in the game. That one was forced by Moses Each. And Prairie, after scoring to get the momentum at the end of the second quarter, now has the football after a turnover on the first offensive play of the second half by Cedar Falls. And now the ball is fumbled right back as Nick Pearson puts it on the AstroTurf, and it is recovered by Cedar Falls.
Wow. That was a direct snap right to him. And Cedar Falls had great penetration into that defensive backfield. They were on top of Pearson before he could even leave his position. Watch this. Excellent penetration.
Knocked away by big number 55, Colin Bowenkamp.
Wow.
Able to wrap around with that hand. Bowenkamp forced the fumble.
Kind of a continuation with the first half with the high scoring, and all of a sudden, I mean, these teams are playing with some great intensity.
Loescher wants to go deep. He's got a man wide open, and headed for the end zone is Trey Campbell. Trey Campbell wide open down the seam for 6. 63 yards as the big plays just continue in this game.
Well, you can see how comfortable Loescher is back in that pocket. Defensive backs for Cedar Rapids Prairie just seem like they have their feet nailed to the turf because Campbell just runs right by him. Watch, Loescher delivers a beautiful ball. Campbell's already beyond the defensive backfield. They got to turn and run with him. When he's running, they got to stay ahead of him by 2 strides. Even if he breaks it off on an out or in pattern or a post, they still got to be ahead of him.
Extra point is good. And Cedar Falls has that 2-touchdown lead back. What a huge turn of events there. The fumble by Cedar Falls, followed by a fumble by Prairie on the very next play, and then boom, Cedar Rapids Prairie's defense not able to defend that pass, and a touchdown. Just as you said, Trey Campbell just got behind the defense and then outran them after the perfect throw by Loescher.
Certainly a lot of time left in this football game. Prairie's going to get some more possessions, but they have to, number one, take care of the football. Number two, they have to be productive with the ball when they get it. Again, you know, Cedar Falls is the number 2 team in Class 4A. They're a top 5 program in the state of Iowa over the last 40 years. So it's not as if they're going to break down on you and give you an opportunity to make a big play. They don't make many mistakes offensively or defensively.
No, they do not. So Prairie now will get the ball back, and we'll see if the trend by Albaugh continues, where he is, for the most part, forced touchbacks. Only one time has Prairie started after a kickoff outside their own 20. They won't this time either. That one will almost make the goal post.
You know, they ought to just get to a point where, well, they can't do that. I was just thinking they ought to just say, well, we're going to kick it out of the end zone. Let's just give it to him on the 20. But I guess they can't do it because there might be a time when he muffs it.
Yeah,
he kicks it short, you know. Scratch that from the script, will you, Bob?
Well, it did happen one time tonight, too, where he, you know, of course, it was after a penalty. The offside on the Cedar Falls special teams, and then they had to kick from 5 yards further upfield. Actually, no, that one was a touchback too, wasn't it? But there was one where there was not a touchback.
Right, there was one return.
But it wasn't on the penalty.
We'll see if they don't use Nick Pearson so much more here in the second half. We've seen a lot of Tariq Amir. He did a terrific job in that first half to give Cedar Rapids Prairie a boost offensively. We'll see if they don't start using Nick here a little bit more in the second half.
Pearson will keep it, and he breaks into the clear. And one man to beat. Couldn't escape the tackle of Ben Cernette, but he does have first down and a big gain.
Well, I think the difference has to be in that interior offensive line. I don't know that they've changed their blocking scheme other than just saying, we need to block. You know, you need to take, watch this right up the middle. They pull left to right, and there's Nick Pearson running right behind that offensive line into that opening.
It was Mosley Keyshawn who got in there, but Pearson was able to run right past him.
Yeah, Cernette saved the touchdown.
Another big run for Pearson. This time they won't be able to catch him. 20, 10, and into the end zone. So Prairie answers right back as this score-a-thon continues. A 60-yard run by Nick Pearson.
Well, you know, again, I can't say for sure if they change their blocking scheme other than they just are blocking, you know, and they're driving. We need to have a little conversation at halftime. And again, they're going to their money man with Nick Pearson. He rushed for almost 1,500 yards coming into the game on the season.
Great job of transferring that football away from the oncoming defender, too, to protect it. And, of course, that coming just a couple of plays after Pearson had fumbled on the last Prairie possession.
1 minute has passed since Cedar Falls scored on that long pass for Cedar Rapids Prairie to score here.
Carter Griffin with the extra point. It's good. We're back to a 7-point game again, 35-28. And the quick scores and the long scores have been common in this one. An 80-yard drive in just 2 plays. And, of course, Nick Pearson, both the carries for the touchdown, a 60-yarder, and then he had a 20-yard run earlier. Actually, 3 plays on that drive.
Yeah, he carried the ball 3 times, for 5, for 15, and for 60. You know, who has a better time in the stands than the student section?
That's right.
You know, Bob, you know, after a long week of school, well, after a week of school, and it seems to be, it can get long, 5 days, you on a Friday night, you get a chance to go enjoy watching your high school football team play indoors.
Right now, they're all discussing what's going to happen next.
Can you imagine?
What a crazy game it's been.
It's interesting to see what the script was these coaches put together coming into this game. If they've had to rip it up, throw it away, and start over. kind of, do everything by spontaneity.
Pearson with 117 yards on the ground and 15 carries, and that 60-yard run, his longest of the night. Low squib kick fielded at the 44-yard line, and wonderful field position again. Cernette jumps on it for Cedar Falls.
Well, from the Cedar Rapids Prairie perspective, number one, and we talked about at the beginning of this game, they've got to get to Loescher. They've got to get to him right now. They can't allow him to sit back in that pocket and find a receiver. And number two, if he does sit back there in that pocket and find a receiver, that defensive backfield for Cedar Rapids Prairie has to cover. They have to learn how to be defensive backs back there, knock down the football when it's a pass, intercept that pass. Otherwise, it's just back and forth.
If this keeps up, it'll look like an 8-player score. A lot of times those are real high-scoring contests. Cernette, nowhere to go, or not Ostrich, excuse me, not Cernette. Nowhere for him to go that time as he got spun around and dropped by, I believe it was Fidel Abdi and Jake DeGroot.
DeGroot coming from the outside, the bottom of your screen right here. You'll see him get right to Ostrich. So I think maybe they're going to put a little bit more pressure. Hold in that defensive line, stuff the middle and then come from the outside quickly, come down that line of scrimmage to see if they can't make the stop.
Beautiful on the pitch out, and Ostrich getting that from Loescher at just the right time as he's able to get down to the 40-yard line. He waited and waited and delivered it just to pure perfection.
Well, that's the lead option. The quarterback runs right at the defensive end. Defensive end holds and holds and holds, and that gives Ostrich, see that right there?
Yep.
As Schwarzenegger probably should have been on the pitch man, and instead he takes the quarterback. That's not going to make defensive coordinator Jim Dostal very happy. But that's what Loescher does, is he draws the defense to him and he pitches it out to Ostrich, and you saw he had a bunch of running room.
Loescher 4 for 5 for 206 yards and a pair of touchdowns. And he looks to throw again and has it knocked down at the line of scrimmage as he wanted to go to Trey Campbell.
Lane Schwarzenegger coming from that outside. Lane, a very talented athlete, number 37 for Cedar Rapids Prairie. Plays offense in the wing back. He's able to catch the ball, but he's very agile at about 6'2" and 175, 180 pounds. Understands the game really well. That time he was able to knock down that pass. We got Cernette out here in one-on-one coverage.
He'll hand it off. Ostrich gets 4 yards to the 36. Jake DeGroot again there defensively for Prairie.
Was able to pick up 4 yards, so they moved that interior defensive line. See that nice block there, and Ostrich just trying to weave his way through.
Flag down.
Receiver on the left side, moving just a little bit before the snap.
Could be a big penalty too. Takes a 3rd and 6 to a 3rd and 11. Although Cedar Falls has certainly shown big playability.
Well, other than the fumble at the beginning of this half, Cedar Falls has scored on every possession, the last 4 possessions they had.
Key 3rd and long. Loescher hits the man, number 11. That's Ben Cernette, and he has first down yardage to the 27-yard line.
10-yard cushion out there on that outside, and it is a zone defense, so all he has to do, you got to give Loescher the time, and then Cernette just runs a little post pattern, slant pattern, if you will, catches it 6 yards downfield and picks up the next 5 for the first down.
Loescher just smooth at that quarterback position. He'll pitch it to Ostrich. He fumbles it, but fumbles it right out of bounds at about the 22.
Prairie forced Loescher to pitch that early. They come right down the line of scrimmage right at him right now.
See that replay again. Ball was possibly knocked out of his hands by one of the defenders.
It was.
Luckily for Cedar Falls, it went right out of bounds. But not before a 6-yard pickup. And now Cedar Falls is going to take a timeout. Coach Brad Remmert, in his 6th year on the helm, is going to talk things over. We'll be back in just a moment. You're watching high school football, a good one in 4A on MC22. Back inside the Unidome, you see Cedar Falls head coach Brad Remmert just finishing up the discussion with his team as they head back out for a 2nd down and 4 at the 22-yard line of Cedar Rapids Prairie.
Yeah, I think they had an alignment issue and needed to get it reorganized. Hutchins down here on the left side of the screen, 24 there in one-on-one coverage. We'll see if they don't use him.
Wide open down the center of the field and into the end zone for the touchdown is Jacob Remmert.
Ended up either a tight end or a slot back who was on the inside. Prairie was so conscious of the outside receivers, he just ran right down the seam. Yeah, you see him, he lined up in a tight end position. He just runs right down the hash marks. Free safety was over. Cornerback and linebacker had shifted to the outside. They're so worried about Cernette that you lose sight of some of the other potential receivers.
Jones and Longwell tried to bring him down, but couldn't keep him out of the end zone. The extra point is good. And once again, Cedar Falls leads by 2 touchdowns.
Loescher comfortable back in that pocket, getting some nice offensive line play, but a quick release, so that just talks a lot about Remmert getting off the ball quickly. Nobody picking him up. Nobody, usually, decades ago, they used to talk about knocking the defense or the tight end off of his route. Don't let him off the line of scrimmage. Well, I think a lot of things have changed over the years, and they're not hitting the defense or the tight end like they used to, and he's getting some open looks. That's
Remmert's 2nd touchdown catch of the year, and interestingly enough, his other touchdown catch was also from 22 yards.
It's a go-to play there inside, your opponent's 25-yard line.
There's another touchback. Loescher having a night, 6 of 8 now through the air, 240 yards and 3 more touchdowns. That makes his season total 17 touchdowns and just 4 interceptions.
Not a bad season.
Not at all.
It's interesting, and I can read Mark Bliss's mind. Same thing I would do. The game's a long way from over, so Prairie just needs to continue to run its offense, score, you got to score, obviously. You're down 2 touchdowns, and somewhere along the lines, your defense is going to make a play. You know, think about the change of possessions right away to begin the third quarter with the immediate fumbles. If Prairie doesn't fumble back, you know, things could happen differently.
No running room that time on first down for Prairie. Cale Loescher, just amazing what he's been able to do through the air the last 2 seasons now. He has thrown, Jerry, for 60 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. 43 touchdowns and, let me correct that. 43 touchdowns and 7 interceptions the last 2 years. And so add 3 more to that, and he's got 46 touchdowns and just 7 picks. Still pretty darn impressive.
Absolutely great ratio for a quality athlete like Cale Loescher.
Amir, nowhere to go. Stacked up by 2 Cedar Falls defenders and dropped. Eli Mickey and Bryce Albaugh.
They just stood their ground on that left side. Prairie trying to pull everybody from right to left. They just stack up the middle, stack up that left end, and Tariq Amir has nowhere to run.
It was Ryan Dunlop helping out and not Albaugh. There you see Dunlop going off the field.
That was the play, Bob, that Tariq has scored twice on, the very same play.
3rd down, 12 yards to go. Cedar Rapids Prairie definitely does not want to give the ball back to Cedar Falls the way they've been moving it. Williams to throw down the center of the field, trying to get it to Forsland. Incomplete. Coverage by Jay Seeger.
You know, and one thing that really kind of disturbs me a lot, they just needed 12 yards. Find a way to pass the ball 8-9 yards downfield in a crossing pattern, and let your receiver pick up the final 3 or 4 yards necessary. See, now, he tried to throw 15 yards, may have made a good decision to get it to a receiver who may have been open a little bit, but see, now you got 4th down, and like you just said, they didn't want to give it back to Cedar Falls and are going to do so here.
A little bit of contact with the kicker, but nothing called, and the fair catch called for by Albaugh after a 35-yard punt. Coach Bliss really needs his defense to rise to the occasion here, down 2 scores.
They do need to make a play here. They got to create opportunities for themselves. And on top of that, maybe just stop Cedar Falls here on 3 plays. Force them to punt, but don't let them penetrate deep into your territory.
Loescher looks, throws, caught at the 45. It's Trey Campbell.
Look at all the time he has back in that pocket to throw. He was looking to the outside first, and all of a sudden he just sees Campbell splits the difference between DeGroot and Nick Fetters.
Loescher to Ostrich on the pitch. He's run out of bounds at the 42. Fetters again there. Mahoney.
Just a simple pitch sweep, toss sweep to the left side to Ostrich. He just needed 3 yards for the first down. He would have taken more if he'd had the opportunity, but it was not there for him.
Xavier Falcon down, one of the offensive linemen for Cedar Falls. Falcon, a 6 foot, 260-pound senior. We're looking at Xavier's left leg.
It doesn't seem that Cedar Falls is too deep on either side of the line of scrimmage, offensive and defensive. So when you lose a lineman like this, it certainly can have an impact.
While they attend to him, we'll take a break on MC 22. Xavier Falcon being helped off the field by a couple of teammates after being injured on that last play for Cedar Falls.
Certainly hope it's not anything serious.
Hate to see that happen to anybody, but especially a senior on your senior night. They're going to go attend to him. Loescher got heat up the middle, almost able to get away from it, dropped by Clayton Scott.
I don't know if they're going to call a face mask penalty, if it's going to be a late hit or something.
And it's face mask. You got it, Jerry.
Well, it was a nice penetration by Clayton Scott. You'll see him coming on the left side. Osher doesn't even see him coming. Yep, there it is right there.
Yep, he had it.
Wow.
Got defensive help, but by Ashton Stoner to group, but all for naught because of that face mask penalty. Loescher, loose ball caught out of the air by Prairie as it was in and out of the hands of Gross, who's fumbled twice tonight. And it could be one of those things, we talked about it earlier, Jerry. He hasn't played very much this year because of some banged up ankles. And that's his second lost fumble of the night.
Well, it's interesting. I don't even think he had a good handoff. I think the mesh point was bad from the beginning. Well, no, he had a rip from him by Clayton Scott.
Popped up in the air and picked up out of the air by 37. That's Lane Schwartzendruber.
Johnny on the spot. We talked about Lane, his athletic ability. He knows for the football. Almost, you know, Prairie's offense has kind of been stymied. They've had some big plays, obviously, in this third quarter as Nick Pearson, you know, ran for that long touchdown. Sometimes you got to pick up the pace.
Yeah.
You know, get up the line of scrimmage and go. Don't let that defense get set. Get it back on their heels a little bit. Get a little rhythm and momentum going.
Both teams real deliberate on offense. And it certainly has worked for him so far with 70 points on the scoreboard.
Cedar Falls is doing a nice job of getting to those passing zones. You know, Tariq Amir may have been open running down that right sideline, but Hunter had no time. Gabe Burkle really wasn't open in that split end position, so as he was split out to the right. Penalty marker.
And you see Prairie, or you don't see, but Prairie is ineligible man downfield. I was going to say Prairie is walking backwards like it's going to be against them, but it was refused by Cedar Falls. And that brings up a 3rd and 6 at the 43 for the Hawks. Direct snap to Pearson. He will not make it. He's about at least a yard shy of the first down.
It was in an unbalanced right. They had the left tackle over on the right side. Direct snap to Nick. They're blocking and locking on somewhat. Backside pursuit got to him.
Colin Bonenkamp brought him down with one arm. And he got up and was flexing that arm, but he pretty much tackled him with the left arm only.
This is a relentless defense by Cedar Falls. They may not be very big, but they certainly are determined.
4th down and a pair. And now timeout, Cedar Rapids Prairie. They'll take it with 3:50 to go. in the third.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if we see another direct snap to Nick Pearson. They're just going to line up and let him go to the right side. Unbalance your line, put Clayton Scott back there to block, maybe even Lane Schwarzenduber. The only other one that has done it has been Stoner DeGroot, been back in there, and just force it forward. Pick up the 2 yards, maybe get 3, move those chains. There's still a lot of time in this football game, but Cedar Falls has had the capacity tonight to control the game offensively. That's one of the things that we talked about. They need to have good balance and ball control to keep this Prairie offense off the field. And for Cedar Falls, they've been very productive in the amount of scores that they've been put up on the board.
Yeah, they've been able to make some big plays. If you looked at the time of possession, it's probably one-sided to the Prairie side of things. But as far as the total yards are concerned, Cedar Falls has been able to put up a lot of them, a lot of big plays, especially from Ostrich. And of course, 3 touchdown passes from Loescher too. Fourth down 2. They're going to try another trick play, and they're going to try and hit Williams, and I believe he caught it. They say yes. First down at the Cedar Falls 40. Another trick play.
That was a reverse play. They handed the little pitch to Nick Pearson, who handed it off to Nick Friel. And Hunter Williams just slips out to the right flat area. Nick underthrows him. Boy, if he hits him on the spot, on the run,
he's got
a touchdown.
Well, and Friel, if he would have waited a split second later, he'd have been buried. He got that throw off just in time. So the tricks have worked very well for Cedar Rapids Prairie thus far. Nowhere for Tariq Amir to go. Dropped by big number 92. That is Trey Weimer who brought him down.
He's just staying home. He's just making a hard charge at the ball carrier. Watch this. Well, he fought off the block of Lane Schwarzenduber, so it kind of tells me that the play was slow to develop, because Lane was making a nice block on that outside, but you can only, make that block and sustain it for so long.
He certainly delivered a hit. Direct snap, Pearson. No gain. Dropped right at the 40, and it's 3rd down 10.
Prairie can't move that middle, that defensive line out. They're hitting and locking on and just sustaining that spot, not being moved at all. I mean, again, these are plays that during the year against more inferior opponents, Nick's picking up 10, 12, 15 yards.
Pearson will keep it again. And he's going to be shy of the first down. Picked up 7 or 8 on that 3rd down.
Does a nice job of picking up the yardage, but got a long way to go.
4th down and 2. And Prairie obviously going to go for it again. Coming up and making a stop for Cedar Falls, Nathan G.
I don't think they have any choice but to go for it here with 1.5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. And it's all right. You gotta trust yourself. Their season's not going to end tonight, fortunately for them.
Ooh, Prairie calls another timeout, which really not something they can afford. However, it is 4th down and 2, a key spot for them. That's their 2nd timeout they've burned here in the 3rd quarter.
Well, that's the same activity they used when they drew Cedar Falls offside that time. They moved everybody from left to right, but they didn't have a play call, and that's why Mark Bliss took the timeout. I'm just assuming, but that's what it looked like to me. They were trying to draw Cedar Falls offside, and it didn't happen.
Work. Yep. So Bliss has got his team in the huddle, and what will it be this time? Maybe a triple pass. I'm just kidding.
You never know. You never know.
They've pulled out a couple of tricks out of the bag tonight, and both of them have worked so far.
Well, you get the wide side of the field off the left side. You either can roll Hunter Williams out to his left, get the short pass, the sure pass, get the first down, And then if it turns into a big play, you know, that's just, you know, icing on the cake, or direct snap it to Nick Pearson and go. Well, they do have tackle over, so they're unbalanced to the right.
They will throw. Burkle has first down inside the 30.
I can run the same play, Bob. We got a first down out of this. Move the chains. Come back and run the same play again. Nice delivery by Hunter Williams. Gabe just stood right up and they threw it right to him.
Well, Amir stayed right where he was lined up.
You know,
it looked like they were going to throw a pass to him right behind the line, but he ducked and let it fly by.
Tigers were unsuspecting of Burke. See, look at him. He's wide open down here again.
They won't run it, though. Instead, they'll go to Pearson. Yeah, there literally was nobody on Burkle.
You know, just the traditional Cedar Rapids Prairie running attack. They're going to grind it out. You know, 2 scores is too difficult to make up. Defense has to step up and play a little bit better.
Burkle will draw a defender this time, but runs up the field unimpeded. They try to throw, and it's incomplete. It was intended for Jake DeGroot.
Threw it into the ground. I'm not sure he actually had a direct shot at getting him the ball. I think he was doing what he can to get it somewhere where DeGroot might be able to catch it.
Third down and long. Hunter Williams. It's Amir again, and just nowhere for Tariq to go. Ryan Dunlop makes the stop.
And at some point, that was a good play, and it was set up nicely, but Cedar Falls was able to string it out. It went too far to the sideline. Tariq needed to cut it up somewhere, and that offensive lineman needed to cut it up right there. It went too long, blocks couldn't be sustained.
That's how the third quarter will end, with Cedar Falls leading Cedar Rapids Prairie by 2 touchdowns. And a key 4th down play coming up for Prairie to start the 4th and final 12 minutes inside the Unidome in Cedar Falls. You're watching high school football on MC 22. You see Xavier Falcon. He is obviously done for the night, getting that ankle iced. I originally thought it might be the left knee, so yeah, always good when it's not a knee, hopefully. It's nothing too severe, hopefully just a bad sprain or something like that. And hopefully he'll be able to be back for them in the playoffs next week.
So going into the 4th quarter, Prairie with 439 yards of total offense on 59 plays. Cedar Falls 403 on 30.
And this is the 12th play of the drive, and I believe he caught that football. What a catch by Johnny Jones.
Wow.
They'll mark him down with a first down at the Cedar Falls 13-yard line.
One-handed catch. He was bobbling and going into the sideline, but the official determined that he had just enough. This is a nice pass by Hunter Williams over top of the linebacker. There's Johnny with the right hand, tipping it, concentrating on it, going towards the sideline.
What a play. That ball was tipped at least twice by him, I mean, before he was able to pull it in as he fell to the turf. Now a flag fly, and that play stopped, obviously.
Come from the umpire, so it's going to be an offensive line illegal procedure penalty. I'm not quite sure where.
That was a late whistle. False start.
I think the player pulling.
Prairie has had the ball 24 minutes through 3 quarters, 24 and 5.
Out of 36 total.
11:55. Cedar Falls has been on the field with their offense. That speaks to the big plays that Cedar Falls has been able to deliver, but at the same time, Prairie has had some as well. Williams had a little trouble with that snap. Gets it to Jones. Jones pushes his way down to the 6-yard line.
Ronnie just coming from left to right, right across the middle. Linebackers and cornerbacks, they're all dropping deep. They're not going to give up anything deep. So that opens up that 7 to 12-yard area. You see Johnny come from left to right, right there. You see how deep those red jerseys are dropping. Nice play by Prairie Hawks.
Second and 3 at the 6. That shift that we've seen so often in this game. And Pearson, excuse me, but ball whistled dead, even though Cedar Falls came out of there with it.
Interesting. Boy, I tell you, they made that shift, and all they had was just the tight end next to the center. So they shifted guard, left tackle, all the way over, Bob. You know, that's a solid wall over there. And they've got his forward progress down. Yardages have been tough for Nick tonight, except for that long 60-yard touchdown run.
3rd and 1 at the 4. Pearson again has the first down, or yeah, I think he's inside the 3. It's going to depend on the mark. It's pretty close, it looks like.
The left side official is outside the 3. Going to give it to him.
They're going to mark the nose of the football right on the 3, which may require another measurement, which, yep, will be at least our 3rd of the night.
Well, they want to get it right. I would think that, you know, with the alignment of this artificial turf, the sideline stripes to the hash mark stripes all the way across, they are in direct alignment with each other. And I was in here last spring with a college softball game, University of Iowa, Northern Iowa. They taped off a softball diamond.
Gives you an idea of just how big this building is.
And what you can do with it. I mean, it's not ideal, but yeah, I don't think they wanted to play in 45-degree rain weather.
Definitely not. It is 4th down. Prairie has been faced with a few of these tonight.
We sure have. It was on this possession, Bob, before the end of the 3rd quarter. They threw that 6-yard pass to Gabe Burkle. And a direct snap to Pearson.
Pearson's got it, diving down to the 2. Close to the 1-yard line. He's definitely got the first down.
First down, the Hawks.
You see right up the middle. I mean, they shifted everybody over to that right side. Left guard, right guard, all lined up on the right side. They moved the tight end, Stoner DeGroot, next to the center. Cedar Falls, you can see them shifting their defensive alignment too. Watch this, they shift too. They have a strong side and a weak side defense.
Up the middle, Pearson, 2nd effort.
And he may have fumbled.
Should be in, but he's raising his arms. He doesn't have the football in them anymore, and now they're going to discuss it. I think he made it. Touchdown, there's the signal. And you know, one thing we're seeing here, Jerry, we were talking about that time of possession, now up to 27 minutes almost for Cedar Rapids Prairie. That Cedar Falls defense has got to be starting to tire out.
Well, we'll see though, and if their offense can come out and, yep, he's got the ball.
It did drop out, but just after it crossed.
Right at the goal line.
Prairie always full of trickery. A lot of times you'll see them line up like they're going to go for two, and now they line up for the extra point. And that PAT by Carter Griffin is up and through, and we're back to a 7-point game again with Cedar Falls up 42-35 after a very long time-consuming drive by Cedar Rapids Prairie.
18 plays Bob it took, and you'll see they go directly to Pearson. He just gets it over that goal line before he loses the handle on it.
Of course, all it has to do is touch the white. Over 8 minutes on that possession. And we're right at about 27 minutes, almost to the second time of possession now for Cedar Rapids Prairie. And despite having the football all that time in this game, they still trail by 7.
So Nick Pearson ran the football 9 times on that possession. Got a couple pass completions. So they're mixing up, balancing things the best they can. Draw within 7. Now they got to get that defense out there and put a halt to Cedar Falls' offense.
A.J. Walter to boot it away. Been kicking it short a lot. This time he'll kick it more downfield. It'll come down to the 13-yard line. And that's where Albaugh returns it from. He's dropped it to 26. Pearson now with 25 carries on the night, a couple of touchdowns, and 141 yards on the ground.
Well, both he and Tariq over the 100-yard rushing for the night.
Yep. Cedar Falls offense has stopped themselves a couple of times tonight with turnovers, but that's really been about it for the most part. Landon Wolf makes the catch and goes out of bounds on the throw from Loescher. Picks up 6 to the 34.
Good first down play. They had Cushion out here on the outside. He just runs a 2-step curl pattern and a quick delivery by Cale Loescher.
Actually 7 yards on that first down connection. Loescher looks to throw again, and he once again connects with Landon Wolf.
Same play. And until Cedar Rapids Prairie starts creeping up to take it away, I'll be surprised if we see it again. Need a gain of 7 and a gain of 10 on consecutive pass plays.
Mason Mahoney made the tackle. And those same two will be matched up again on the near side. Loescher going to run the option, cuts back, has first down yardage to the Prairie 44.
Great decision. Lead option to the left side. This time he decided he couldn't make the pitch and had some running room up to his right side. Watch this, it opens up for him. It opens up for him. Doesn't need to pitch it. Picks up a first down.
Cut back inside. Nick Fetters broke that tackle and was able to get the first down. Loescher to throw. Big pursuit from the backside and another completion. Once again to Landon Wolf. Again forced out of bounds by Mason Mahoney.
We haven't seen Cale roll out much, if at all, in this game. Watch him roll to his right. Defensive end doesn't keep him inside. They don't even get to him. Give him a chance to find a receiver. He will find that person.
Down to the 30-yard line. 3 3/4 Loescher had 249 yards passing. He is nearing 300 at this point. Hands off to Ostrich. He is able to get to the 23.
Nick Field does a nice job to get to him first, slow him down, almost brought him down, got a little help from the group. Watch Nick come in, number 15. Had a hold of him, just couldn't bring him down by himself.
Yep, Stoner to Grit, and also Clayton Scott coming in to help out. Going deep and caught for a touchdown. What a great over-the-head grab by Trey Campbell. That one good for 32 yards as once again Cedar Falls is able to answer the Prairie score with a score of their own.
And Lane Schwarzenegger really had decent coverage on him. It's just Campbell makes a move up to the top of your screen, and Loescher reads that Campbell has run by Schwarzenegger and throws. He has plenty of space out there from when he releases it to where Campbell is to where he's going. Drops in a nice pass.
Extra point is good again by Albaugh. 7 made PATs tonight by Albaugh, giving him 43 of 44 on the year.
Look at Trey Campbell right there. He says, runs a nice route around Lane Schwarzenegger. Well, and I watched that the play develop, and he did kind of a head and shoulders fake, held up, it drew Lane in, and then all of a sudden he runs right by him.
Once again, a pretty quick strike as far as Cedar Falls is concerned. They had the ball only 2 minutes. They've only had the ball for 14 minutes in this game. 73 yards on that particular drive, even though it only took them 2 minutes.
And in 6 productive plays, 3 pass plays. Landon Wolf, 3 receptions, 31 yards, and then the last touchdown pass to Trey Campbell of 32 yards.
When you can score 7 touchdowns in 14 offensive minutes, you are moving the football. And Albaugh, who does a little bit of everything, returns kicks for them, kicks off with great regularity of touchback, and as I just mentioned, has only missed 1 extra point on the entire season as well. That's a key player on your team, doing a lot of good things for you.
Well, I think Prairie can't do now, and there's the advantage of having a kicker who can kick it deep into the end zone and force your opposition to start in the 20s. They can't take 8 minutes to score here. They need 2 scores, and they've got to do it quickly.
Pearson keeps it on the direct snap, and he breaks it to the outside, but he won't be able to get away from the defender over there, hanging on and making the stop. I believe that was Nathan G. or Jay Seeger.
Well, he stopped at the line of scrimmage early, but he just keeps his momentum going forward. Gets to the outside. Cornerback coming up and making the big play saving tackle.
Williams looks to throw, will keep it, and dives to almost to the 40-yard line.
I know he was looking for Gabe Burkle. Gabe was open. He's looking out to the left side. You can see him looking downfield, but he elects to cut it up. Picks up positive yards.
Amir, what a great job getting through the defenders there. He's finally dropped by Seeger, but not before he had a real nice run.
Tell you what, Colin Bonenkamp had him in the backfield. Watch Bonenkamp, number 55, right there. And then he just pursues him. He doesn't give up. He's relentless at it, Bob. Nice double leg takedown right there by Jace Seeger. But nice run by Amir.
Williams faked the handoff to Amir, and there is payback, I guess, for Bonenkamp for the last play, where he didn't get the stop in the backfield. This time he gets the sack.
He is getting some deep penetration. Quick off the ball, and he just makes his move on that offensive lineman. You can see him pushing Colton Staub back. And it may have been supposed to be a quick pass out. I think it looked to me like the Hunter was going to release it quickly, and it seemed to be the way that Colton Staub was trying to block that.
There's a completion to Jones. Well shy of the first down. It'll bring up 3rd and about 10. Johnny said some good moments tonight.
He really has. Time for Hunter to throw. Just delivers the ball across the middle. He can't get anything deep, so they're going to take the under patterns, which is perfectly fine, because sometimes they can turn into a big play. Nice stats there for Johnny Jones.
Williams throws, catches, does number 12. That's Adam Longwell.
That's some excellent open field tackling. Alex Paxson gets to the legs. Watch this. You'll see Longwell, he'll catch the pass, and watch Paxson go to his ankles, goes right down below the knees, gets his arms wrapped around him. It's like calf roping in a rodeo, man. Just what it reminds me of.
Except Paxson don't need no rope. 4th down and 2 at the 41. This could be the ball game for Prairie. Williams passes. That's Longwell. He has first down to the 35, where he's taken down.
Nice play. Pick up the first down yardage. They need to get up to the line of scrimmage and start running plays quickly. They need a couple of scores here.
Seeger again there defensively for Cedar Falls. Prairie only has 1 timeout also, and that clock is not their friend with 3.5 to go. Williams comes near side Amir. There's a couple of blockers over there, but a good job shedding one of those blocks by Ben Cernat, who knocks him out of bounds.
Interesting that Cedar Falls does a really nice job of defending the wide side of the field, the more space field. Boy, they get to the ball quickly. Watch this. They're all flowing that way now. Fighting off blocks, getting in position where they can make multiple tackles.
Williams throws. Complete. That's Forsland. Almost goes down at 28, but he's able to get back up and knocked out at the 25. Cernat again there defensively.
Really close to a first down. We'll see if they give it to him. Again, another crossing pattern. Cedar Falls will give those up.
Yep, they're moving the chains. One of the officials signaled for them to move the chains. They're not moving them nearly as quickly as he signaled, but they do get them changed now. 1st and 10 at the 25. Williams sets up the screen. Amir not able to get away from Eli Mickey.
Great open field tackle.
And Caden Barnett is down, or he's up now, but I think they'd stopped the play for him. Hobbles to the sideline. Looks like he might have hurt his lower back.
Just fundamentally sound on the tackling part of it. As you see him go out, I think you see he's in a great deal of pain. They're not taking any fakes. Once you get an angle on a guy and you start attacking him, you don't let him to your outside. You just put a shoulder right into him.
Williams to throw, has a man. Forsland took a big hit, and he knew he was going to get it too. Big hit from number 9, Alex Paxson.
That's a very targeting call.
And Forsland is not going to get up.
See, now I can see the referee is talking to the sideline official.
There's
they are going to call the flag. They are going to call it. You see Brad Remmer not very happy on that side, but you got to, it has to be done. You got to make the call. I mean, and you know, the referee's seeing the play too at the end. You'll see it, Forsland, he'll get his hands on it, and then you'll see the defensive back just, look at that. I mean, he just
lowered the shoulder into him.
That's a targeting, that's textbook. And so I'm assuming that Paxson is still in the game for now, but does
Ball's moved to the 7, first down.
You see it again. Hunter's rolling out to his left. Forsland will get his hands on it, but you see the defensive back's intent completely was just to make the big hit.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, a player who is vulnerable,
yeah.
very defenseless, exactly.
He's still out there.
Well, it's interesting that in the NFL and in college football, you're removed from the game.
Williams throws the pop-up to Burkle, and he can't make the grab. Good play by Ben Cernat.
Well, going to the 6'7" Burkle, giving him a chance to use his height, his athletic ability. Cernat gets a hand on it.
Play by Cernat, getting that left hand in there to knock it to the turf. Just 2:37 left, as you see on your screen. And Cernat helped the official make that call, signaling that there was movement on that Prairie offensive line.
Prairie's used almost 4.5 minutes on this possession, Bob. You know, we talked about him not having that much time to be able to make up a couple of scores. But they've moved the football downfield, getting themselves in a little momentum and into a little bit of rhythm.
Yeah, and that penalty certainly not helpful for them as they need a score and then an onside kick. There's Burkle catching it at the 10, and he'll get into the end zone nearly untouched, and that pulls the Prairie Hawks back to within 8 at 49-41.
Again, they've moved the football downfield from the 20-yard line, Bob. You see Burkle just running a crossing pattern. Hunter delivering a nice ball, and Gabe with some pretty good speed at 6'7".
Well, whoever has to play Prairie next week in the playoffs is not going to like looking at this tape. They thought, okay, the single wing, stop the run, we can stop the Hawks. They have proven tonight that is not the case at all. PAT is up and good, and we're back to a 7-point game. How many times have we said that tonight? It's 49-42 Cedar Falls with 2:30 to go. In regulation, we better throw that in too.
Well, it started back at the 28-21 at the end of the first half, and it's just been back and forth by each of these teams scoring on their possessions. You remember the third quarter started with a fumble by Cedar Falls and then a return fumble by Cedar Rapids Prairie. Then Cedar Falls would score on its first play, well, second play of the third quarter, first play of their next possession after the 2 fumbles, and that was a 63-yard touchdown pass to Trey Campbell. Prairie would come back and score on the 60-yard touchdown run by Nick Pearson. Cedar Falls would score. Prairie would eventually score. You see Hunter with some time to throw to Gabe Burkle across the middle. So yeah, it's been back and forth, and each time Prairie would score, Cedar Falls would answer and take the 2-touchdown lead.
Burkle, 6'7", 230-pound sophomore. Not too many people interested in trying to make that tackle. And here comes the onside kick, without a doubt.
Got the hands team in there, Cedar Falls does. Or even on top of that, you can pooch it over top of the first two alignment for Cedar Falls.
And they're going to be.
I think Cedar Falls has too many people in the front line.
They call
a timeout.
Timeout,
Well, we got
a flag
penalty,
too.
yeah.
Yeah. Might allow the penalty, or the timeout, I should say, before the penalty.
I do not know. I'm not sure that they're picking up the flag. I know the calling official on this near side is talking to the referee out at midfield. And I know Cedar Falls had more than the allotted 5 players between the 45 and 50-yard line. So perhaps, I guess, consecutive communication between the timeout for Brad Remmert and then the penalty flag is being thrown. So I would assume that's what they're going for here.
Yep, they're picking up the flag. Little anxiety on the sidelines right now. You see Brad Remmert on the left. Mark Bliss on the right.
Both coaching their hearts out here tonight, aren't they, Bob?
Mark always seems to have a smile on his face, though, no matter what the situation. And there's the onside kick. The ball loose. Who got it? It looks like number 8 for Cedar Falls, Cale Loescher, may have gotten it.
That was a nice onside kick there.
He did. Talk about the hands team. You put your quarterback out there.
Well, you got your that ball rolls like it does as many times. In the second bounce, it bounces up high. It rolls and rolls and kicks up high. Watch this. 1, 2, and then it ricochets.
They had a shot at it, did Prairie, and Loescher reached down with that left hand to pull it in.
The old pigskin was skipping through players' legs. Prairie with just one timeout here.
And Ostrich will get the call on first down. And he will go down inbounds. Tackled by Brody Jones.
Nice play by Brody Jones.
And now Prairie will call their final timeout with 2:13 left.
Look where Brody comes from, the free safety position to make the tackle. We've seen him do that numerous times here tonight. We saw it numerous times against Kennedy 6 games ago, 5 games ago, when he was tackling Caron Hendred. We were wondering if he wasn't, locked onto him to have to, bird dog him. Well, actually, he was making touchdown saving tackles back from that free safety position. Right. That's kind of what he did there.
Last ditch effort here by Cedar Rapids Prairie to just hoping for a fumble and maybe to get a little bit of time left at the very end of the game if they can hold them here on 2nd and 3rd down, but there won't be much.
Yeah, they'll be tackling the football here from here on out, but they can't allow Cedar Falls to get a first down, so they need to stop them here quickly. And then Cedar Falls is going to let that clock roll, and the 40-second clock will move. If Prairie can keep them from picking up a first down, the Prairie Hawks could get the ball back with about a half minute to go.
I would think you're going to see a lot of Ostrich on this 2nd and 3rd down play. If there's a 3rd down, obviously. Loescher hands off Ostrich. He has first down yardage. He has another touchdown. What a night that young man has had. Break through the line, and there's nobody in the backside to stop that one. That time he goes in from 54 yards out.
Just off the left side, Nick Field running to the outside, no middle linebacker support.
quite a ball game. Go a whole season, do 9 games and never see as many big plays as we've seen tonight. Prairie takes, or Cedar Falls takes a 14-point lead back with 2:03 to go as they strike quick again, as they have done all night long.
And you see that offensive line taking control, sealing the inside and the outside, just giving enough gap for Ostrich to run through. So Prairie with no timeouts. They need to run the kickoff back here for a touchdown. And then
you've got it all figured out.
Kick an onside kick, get it back. Throw a long pass for a score. Go for 2, take a lead. And for Cedar Falls, I really like the way Cedar Falls has played here tonight, offensively and defensively. Very few mistakes they've made, and they've capitalized with the big play. Mostly from that young man right there. Ryan Ostrich was injured early in the year.
Ostrich has averaged 14 yards per carry tonight, 223 yards, 16 carries, and 4 touchdowns.
With just 761 yards rushing coming into the game. So how many yards did you say he's run for?
223, so he is almost to 1,000.
Almost.
A little shorter kick this time. And a big hit and a fumble recovered by Cedar Falls, possibly. What a hit by Capri Wilson.
I'm going to call him down, though. Came in from that right side of Tariq. He's got a good angle on him, hit him up in the upper chest area. You see Tariq still wondering where he came from. See him coming from the left side. Just a nice hit. Got a good angle on him.
Got him right around the belly with a big one-arm tackle.
So Prairie's going to have to utilize the sideline because they can't stop the clock through a timeout.
And they'll throw deep to Jones, intercepted by Cernette. He slides down as if going into home plate, and that will finish off Prairie. With 1:52 to go. Now Prairie with no way to stop the clock, and Cedar Falls will be able to just run out the clock at this point. Williams, a couple of receivers there, both Jones and also, well, Johnny Jones and Brody Jones, but intercepted by Ben Cernette, who's had a terrific game tonight. Night he will not soon forget, his senior night effort. You can say the same thing, I'm sure, for Cale Loescher at quarterback, as well as Ryan Ostrich, who is not a senior. He'll be back for his senior campaign next year, the 5'9", 175-pound junior, as the clock rolls with 1:40 to go, and Cedar Falls will begin to congratulate one another in the home huddle while they watch that clock run. So Cedar Falls will walk away as the Class 4A District 3 champion with a 9-0 record, 5-0 in district play. And Prairie will lose their first district game. They'll be 4-1 in district and 6-3 overall heading into next week's playoffs. And as we hit the 1-minute mark, Cedar Falls will take one more knee, and that will allow the clock to run out as the home crowd cheers for their undefeated Tigers. Coach Brad Remmert gets his 50th win as head coach, 50-13 over the course of 6 seasons, and his 25th with the Cedar Falls program. Loescher takes a knee, and with under 40 seconds to go, that means they won't have to snap it again. So it's victory for Cedar Falls, and Cedar Rapids Prairie will head back home on Interstate 380 with their 3rd loss of the year. But it was a good football game tonight here inside the Unidome in Cedar Falls. Coach Remmert and Bliss will meet there at about the 45-yard line and exchange pleasantries as the two teams shake hands with one another. A lot of respect there. And Cedar Falls, the 14-point victory. Post-game interviews on the way from inside the Unidome in Cedar Falls on MC22.
High school football on Mediacom MC22 is brought to you by McGrath Family of Dealerships, 5 Seasons Tire, the Tom Riley Law Firm, Klinger Paint and Interiors, Heartland Hearing Center, and by Extreme, powered by Mediacom.
Back inside the Unidome where Cedar Falls puts up 56 tonight in a score-a-thon with Cedar Rapids Prairie winning by 2 touchdowns. Let's head down to the field with Jerry Koala.
To my left, I'm going to have Colin Bonenkamp we'll talk to. To the right, we'll have quarterback Cale Loescher and perhaps maybe even Ryan Ostrich. He's the most in-demand player we have here tonight because of the what he did for this football game. And head coach Brad Remmert, I think you knew coming into this game, Coach, game number 9, and the incentive, the district championship certainly would lead to a better seeding. But, what a football game that both of these two teams played tonight.
Old MVC battle. You look back, and we've always had tough games with Cedar Rapids Prairie. Coach Bliss has another excellent team, and there's a reason why they're leading the state in rushing. They're very solid in what they do in their scheme, and it was put pressure on us, and our kids responded. We made big plays when we had to. Offensively, we got in a rhythm and got some good mix of run and pass, and then Cale and Ostrich and those guys up front did a real nice job.
Coaches come in with a script. They know what they want to do. Could you have scripted a game that turned out to be like this, 56-42?
Yeah, I thought we could put a few points on there, but again, 56, I didn't know, and again, give credit to them. They came in with a good plan and put some points on the board, and put pressure on us.
So you got the playoffs coming up beginning next Friday. You're going to have a home game here with the seed that you do have. You have a nice mix, a good balance, and you needed that here tonight against Cedar Rapids Prairie. Is that the same thing that will be needed when you get into the playoffs?
Absolutely. We're going to have to be able to do that offensively, have a good mix of run and pass. That's when we're at our best, when we're not one-dimensional. And this win, not only with the district title, gets us the automatic seed. We're probably going to be a bid. We're probably going to be a 2 seed, but we get to play at home, and that's what we wanted to do when we talked about this season getting to the start, was get ourselves in a position to have some home field throughout the playoffs.
Second a year ago in Class 4A. Was that a big incentive coming into this football season to try even to match that and take it the next step up?
I think the big thing was that we had to replace a lot of starters, and that shows a lot of character of these kids and what they've done, the work that they put in, because we only returned 3 starters on offense, really, and about 4 on defense. So we got a lot of new kids that have worked in. They bought into what the kids did last year and set that tone, and they want to set that goal to get a shot back in the playoffs, and they've got that first thing done by getting the district title and getting that playoff berth.
All right, Coach, congratulations on this win. Best of luck to you in the 4A playoffs.
Thank you much.
Cedar Falls head coach Brad Rimmer. Now we're going to talk to Colin Bonenkamp. This defense was really relentless here tonight, but I think coming in, you guys knew that you had to really prepare for a very strong running attack.
Yeah, like Coach said, they lead the state in rushing yards. We knew coming out they were going to be a very physical team, and they showed that today. I feel like we just came out and showed them that we had the intensity too, and it just worked out for us.
What does this do then for this Cedar Falls team, the way that you guys had to beat Cedar Rapids Prairie? You get the district championship. But what does this do? Does it give you a little more motivation and momentum going into the playoffs?
Yeah, it means a lot to us, because last year we were undefeated as well, and it kind of had that same feeling again. And a lot of the guys that got to play last year and some of the guys that kind of watched, they kind of had that same energy, like, hey, we can do it too. We want to do that. But
all right, Colin, congratulations on this win. Best of luck to you next week.
Thank you.
Linebacker Colin Bonenkamp. Now we're going to talk to the quarterback of this team, Cale Loescher. Cale, you seem to be very poised back there in that pocket. Did last year's effort, in all season this year, did that help you get yourself prepared for this season?
Yeah, it was probably like game 22 for me right now. So, I've been here a lot of experience, and then last year I had a lot of seniors to help me, lead the way. And this year I kind of had to take that big leadership role, and I like it a lot. It's fun, and that's all.
balance here tonight. That balance that I think has helped this team all season long. A team that's gotten stronger throughout the year as you guys prepare for playoffs?
Yeah, we're tough to stop if we can get the run game going as well and the pass game. They can't stuff the box, and they can't just leave guys hanging in the out of the box. So, if we can keep being I'd call it dual threat offense, it's tough to stop.
All right, Cale, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Senior quarterback Cale Loescher. Now we're going to talk to Ryan Ostrich. Ryan, did you anticipate coming into the game that you would have the game that you had here tonight?
Honestly, no, but I mean, when our offensive line went out there, did their stuff and opened holes for me, and then I just went through them and went from there.
Did you guys see something knowing that Cedar Rapids Prairie defense that maybe would allowed you guys to run the ball as well as you did?
Well, honestly, we thought we could pass it over them. They stuffed a lot of people in the box, but then we found out our option was really working on the outside, so we started going out there and then passing over their heads, and then the middle was open, and then we would just go wherever they weren't.
56 points later, right?
Yeah.
Well, so how does this team set you up then? How does this win set you up for the next week's playoffs?
Well, we really got motivation going forward, momentum. That was a big game, beat a good team, and our team played really well. And we'll be happy about this one. We'll just go into next week and prepare for the next game.
All right, congratulations, Ryan. Best of luck to you next week.
Thank you.
Senior running back Ryan Ostrich. What a way to end the regular season here on Mediacom in the Unidome with a 56-42 win for Cedar Falls. Ranked number 2, they will be a team to be dealt with as they get deep into the playoffs beginning next Friday. Bob?
Thank you very much, Jerry. Great job, and what a offensive show it was tonight. You see the final stats from tonight's game. Both teams going well over 500 yards. Cedar Falls with over 300 yards through the air. And look at all those conversion attempts for Cedar Rapids Prairie. 2 for 13 on third down, 5 of 7 on fourth down. It kept them in the game, but Cedar Falls victorious tonight inside the Unidome. Thanks for joining us for another great season of high school football, and good evening. Thanks for watching MC22.